Hello, Shorto, Gianni, Soto, Ski Biddy Rizzler 29. Hello. Hello, Chief. Which game was frustrating? Which one? This one? Hey, Box. I think honestly, I just jumped straight into it because I can't be bothered to.
He's been working for the IGL of this team, seeking an upset win, picking a map that has traditionally been a home for Sentinels.
So right off the bat, we see SEN basically won Madrid partly off of their split being so good. But their split comp was Raze, Sky, Omen, Viper Cypher. And now they've changed to Breach Sky. So this is very similar to the kind of dynamic that Fnatic we played in 2023. The differences being this was a Cypher, which is pretty significant, and this was a Raze, which is less significant. The reasons why we played this comp in 2023 was because Raze and Jet were very popular, or part of the reason why, and we thought that we'd have a lot of tools to deal with a Raze and a Jet, and also because the Breach allowed us to dominate the Vipers over middle. Like, the Vipers do the orbit middle, and I think we created ways where we could fuck the Viper up. Which I'm still surprised that people don't run the same kind of stuff that we did, because it's not that hard to fuck the Viper up sometimes. The problem with the comp is I prefer Viper than Cypher probably these days in the comp. The problem with the comp though is that Sky is not good anymore. Like not the same power. And especially because we've got Euro and Breach, I think I would prefer the Fade here. The reasons that in Fnatic we liked the Sky was a lot on defense. We loved playing the Sky up this side of the map, whereas most teams will play it this side of the map for information through. The problem with it nowadays on the A side of the map is that you cannot cycle the information anywhere near as well, because you only have 3 pieces instead of like 4 basically. It's probably fine. It's just that as soon as you use one flash, you cannot use another flash because you need that flash to hold the site. So like our protocol would be Sky up here, and then we dog back B main quite a lot, which I think is probably even better now because you don't have the utility to spam cycle. I do just think Fade is a better agent right now though. I think especially on the attack side, I think the Fade is probably farming more. So yeah, I'm a bit we'll see how they play. The other thing is who anchors? Why is that Omen? I would presume that Omen's gonna mostly play B. And then Sky Breach probably this side of the map most of the time. And then any time that they want to make a play, the Breach will go to the side of the map they want to make a play on. On this side, we have the Sentinels comp from 2024, but instead of a Sky, we see the Fade. It's the 2.0 version where Sky's nerfed, so you just play the Fade. So ironically, Wolves doing a Sentinels impression. Good morning, it's 10 a.m. for me. They played Breach B a lot. Breach B is good if you're trying to support for B main fights, I guess. Playing Breach like here, to me, it's not the worst idea in the world, but it's not good in my opinion. Like you always want your Breach being the, obviously like, the person who's capable of rotating between. Like some people used to play it like, I mean, we used to play it kind of like, is this player ready to stun? But then also was coming to here to like support, the map wherever, or even up here or whatever. So we'll see how they play. I'm probably gonna mostly focus on Sentinels here. because no offense to Wolves, but they're probably going to get knocked out, right? So it'd be better for me if I can keep track of how SEN are playing. Okay, well, they play Breach Peter Subus at Euro. That's fine. Like I said, like, I suspect their default would be Breach here, but then whenever they want support on the map, the Breach would start wherever they need support.
Sense that on defense side here on.
So they've got into B main. The only problem with this though is that the Viper Wall does beat this up, in my opinion. Because obviously they could put the Viper Wall up, just stand in like multiple different places, the wall comes down and they just kill the Euro. And I don't think the breach stun's going to be quick enough, especially with the nerf right.
Looking to take decent amount of real estate here on that B side of the map. Gate crash across the map that will allow for a quick rotate.
And this comp from Sentinels, certainly not lacking in flashes. They can get very proactive, popping out of smokes past wall. Second right now wants to take contact off. This flash was shut down. Juicy and Spring.
The flash was good. Can't complain.
Shut down. Second right now wants to take contact.
It's just not a very good play. Also, Zekan should be flashing here. Like, if you're gonna make this play, you have to double flash. Like, there's no reason not to, in my opinion.
Juicy and Spring.
I think that flash, that the breach flash isn't good enough there to do what he just did.
Affected by paranoia, and this is awkward. The wall is dropped. He's gonna have to take this fight, and Juicy rips him a new one. John can barely peer out of defense.
Second flash.
The other question is, why make this play?
Here on that B side of the map. Gate crash across the map that will allow for a quick rotate.
And this comp from Sentinels, certainly not.
To be fair, I was thinking about why John hasn't used any util for info on A, but then to be honest, the Cypher would just be false info anyway. And so they would still make this play. It's just a weird... It's weird to make a B main play with no A main information.
Not lacking in flashes.
It's almost like we have enough A main information because... Oh no, we don't. The Cypher cage. Okay, so they could. I don't know. I feel like SEN know they're not A, right? So why bother regressing B right now? It feels like a weird timing. Like it's the right kind of time in the round to do it, but to me it feels like they are B main. They've used a Viper Wall on B. They prodded middle. I guess one thing this composition is very bad at is dealing with the Viper setup on B. So maybe they just didn't want to play behind the Viper setup because they don't like usually the camera is probably the best tool to deal with this setup. You just look over the wall.
Now wants to take contact off. This flash was shut down. Juicy
It would be strange to me if SEN want to fight fire with fire on that B side.
Also, we're ready to take the fight there. Delta's affected by paranoia, and this is awkward. The wall is dropped. He's going to have to take this fight, and Juicy rips him a new one. John can barely peer out of defense side by now.
Bang understands. Stay time there on it.
Opener.
On reaction to these guys in it. That experience is going to need to come into play to keep the rest of these guys.
I like the Wolves logo looks kind of nice on the jersey. Is that the lighting or is that the material or something? Got like a metallic finish or something.
An adjustment period for them.
Bro, one sec. I realized I thought my eyes were hurting because I woke up earlier or something. It's not because I got fucking hay fever or something. The plants are killing me my eyes.
Wolves also were a really Tejo-reliant team. They're playing that agent in the past on most of their maps as well. Tech pause sorted.
Okay, yeah, so the breach standard is over here, but Omen mid now. I mean, I guess it's just eco.
Rifle's just going to leave that go.
I wonder if there is a game plan around Euro B and why. Like, it's a weird game plan to have come into a map that you don't know how the opponent plays, but did Wolves play this comp before? Yeah, I need to know some history about Wolves here. No, but they did play Viper, so they might have been doing B. Let me see. can't be bothered to check. But like maybe they were like a B wall
Towards
user
spring,
before, and
there's
then
going
Sentinels
to
had a
be
game plan
Short
around the B
trying
wall or
to
something.
lurk, take a couple
What my thoughts on double Sentinel on this map? I think it's fine. It's viable. I think that Breach. I don't have a sense for how big the Breach nerf is because I haven't played Breach like in ranked or anything. But some people seem to think it's very, very bad. Like it makes him like borderline unplayable. I suspect it's not that levels. So to me, like the comps that I would be looking at right now would be Euro Raise comps. I would just be playing Double Dive. I think Double Dive would beat this anyway, just naturally. I know that Cypher does okay versus this, but I think this is fine against it. And then I used to like the Breach variation with the no Prowler, but I think I probably go to Fade version now with the Breach nerf probably. Like, oh yeah, like for this team, to be honest with you, I don't know why they're not playing the just standard old regular shit here. Like, why not just play? They could almost do this, but with Yoru, right? Just do Yoru, Viper, Cypher. I guess Cypher's been slightly nerfed since as well. But then, like, just switch. You could switch this to, like, Yoru Fade instead of Raise Sky that they used to do.
engagements with
But,
no
you know,
upgrade here.
it's not. They're not
Look at
playing
this from
terrible
Wolves.
comp.
This is really right now telling the
Thoughts on the team draw? I mean,
what
it's
they
unfortunate for
will draw
PaperX to
against.
draw
At
Genji,
any moment, there could be
especially with how
multiple
Genji
flashes,
won their
the
last
fault line
games.
coming right at them, especially on an eco round.
Like,
So they are
I think I
taking
watched,
this
I VOD reviewed Genji right at APAC finals, and I think they didn't look as good as what they did yesterday. Like, I could just be yapping, but
sweet time.
they look very structured. When I watched a few rounds and I was like, okay, this is a team who like plays how EMEA should be playing. You know, like they have clear ideas of what they're doing, very structured ideas. Like they ain't messing around. Will PaperX have another chance they lose? Yeah. They have one more chance. It's essentially a glorified group stage. You win 2 games, you're through. If you lose 2 games, you're out. Are you worried about the train? I'm always worried about the train. No, like, I'm sure that'll be fine. But if I was like the head coach of a team, then I'm always pretty pessimistic. Like, I'm always thinking, what's the worst that could go wrong? But that's not very PaperX energy, so I don't think like that.
Lysol just want to stand up over towards here, that defense spawn choke.
10 seconds left.
Backside will have themselves a plan. Sen not able to create any trap opportunities early in the round.
Anxieties. Play rotate, Sen we're stacked up and ready now. It's just about Wolves cleaning this up with ease.
Spring and Lysol going to be grouped up here in the back of sight. They're going to be facing down a bunch of classics. This should be easy enough for them, but the race able to find Juicy. Guiding Light goes in, does find a ping. But the wall gets thrown up here by the attack side. They can sit happily behind that now. They handle Sentinels, corral them into the site. And walk around with 3 rifles.
Just an anti-eco. Nothing much. Nothing much.
Looking like they were a little too apprehensive about how offensive this Sen comp is going to be on defense. But also set up here, that wall to play off that you called out is really going to simplify things for Wolves. I mean, they get to this site with everybody alive. And it's pretty clean anti-eco overall. Get into this bonus round. One thing we're looking to see if Wolves can make adaptations on
The thing is that all comp with Raze is so old and everyone watching this tournament, so it's sort of like throwing curveballs because of the meta change. Kinda.
In the past,
Kinda.
to plan A.
But you remember, like, Senna playing from the Swiss stage up until the final is basically what they're looking for, right? It's like this comp is going to be exposed multiple times by the final anyway, so they're not going to be able to. Like, Senna not the kind of team that are looking for gimmick plays early because they know they can win this tournament, so they will just want to play the best thing possible.
When things got weird mid-round, one of the criticisms been leveled at them.
And certainly one of the reasons that the run to get here was so volatile. You know, winning a clean 2-0, certainly one of the reasons that
Mid-round. Back to plan. We're looking and
So yeah, strong A,
things up when
and then poor fucking Bang has got a deal with this shit. The only thing about this wall orb is reasonably, this comp doesn't have that scary of an execute. Or even burst out of smoke. Like, they cannot go through this smoke and burst out very well. They don't have a Yori to flash out. They don't have a Sky to flash out. So they will essentially have to, like, contact out of it, which makes it far less scary, in my opinion. Like, as soon as this drops and he sees anything, if he sees any player, then he just drops back. And then, as long as we have players ready and we kind of, like, keep this side of the site, we should be fine as SEN. I don't know if this Viper Orb and Wall makes sense. I need Wolves to prove to me that, like, there's a reason to do this Wall and Orb. Like, is this Viper actually gonna take timings with it? Like, if they are full at middle, is he gonna walk through on a timing? Or is he just gonna be scared? Because there's no point of doing that otherwise. I low-key think Sen's ban Sunset to save it for later stages. I low-key do not think that. I think that they probably... There's a chance that they can play Sunset, for sure. And they probably can. But I would say that they are probably just giving themselves the best odds possible in this match. They probably did not get to practice it as much as they'd like. And they weren't so sure. I think a lot of teams like SEN, they looked good on Sunset, but then ultimately they started to dip a little bit because the kind of popular play pattern on the map got exposed. From like Retakes' play pattern, which is pretty much what everyone did, got a little bit exposed. Do you think Viper needs a buff? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. I won't be answer. I don't answer questions about counter strafing in the middle of VOD review. If you got questions like that, you have to ask them on my Discord, or after I'm done with the VOD review, which won't be for ages, because it's not relevant to this game.
They really want this mid control, Sen. Have already thrust Zekken straight down.
Go back and see Spring Lurk. Sorry. I got distracted. Oh, he actually did it. Okay, cool. Okay, fair enough. There we go. This is exactly... If you are going to do it, you have to do that. So I'm glad that round fucking 1 of the game, the most important round of the game, like, he's just doing it. So that's a fair play. So how do Sentinels deal with this wall? Bruh. In a weird way, I think my initial hunch about dealing with this is not actually dealing with it at all. It's about making sure our middle control is good. If our mid control is good, then we can feel a lot more comfortable on B, not having to just like deal with B. If that makes sense. But the problem is, like, Zellsis is pretty passive right now. We started 3A, so we didn't want to start Viper here, Omen here, because then it's essentially 1B. But I do think that Celsius is probably going to have to play a more aggressive mid game. Because as soon as we lose middle control, and we've lost like up to here, we haven't got any playable space anymore. The B splits would be nasty against us. And we can't really play into B main that easily, because if we play into B main, they just walk through a wall on us and kill us. Yeah, I think it's mostly about making sure our middle, like, Zelsis cannot give up middle this easily.
Aggressive player. specifically when he's on this map even. He is a menace.
He's getting a lot of room up in his house, his feet, ready to receive him, but at the same time, the push is coming to the B side, but bang, is hidden. He's so aware. Oh, that's straight through smoke, Lysor. You can't.
I'd also probably switch Zaken and John QT. I think Zakens need to get more active to help Zelsis at middle. Probably. Like, I don't want him to be a glorified ward. Like, Zaken's playing like a ward right now. Like, he is just a ward. He's a 75 gold ward. Whereas we want our Sky player to probably be that person. And then he can go here, and then the Sky can be this player, and then he can TP in. Like, I think it's fine to play the Euro like this, but I think it's like the A tier way to play it, whereas the S tier way to play it would be that he is this player right now. Because he can, like, he's essentially just being here and then TPing out, when he could be on the other side of the map doing something and still TP in, which is better. Like, he gets no more value doing this than a Sky would. And the Sky doesn't get any more value being here than a Euro would. If anything, the Euro is better here. And the Sky is better here. What about playing in front of the wall on B main? Constant one way with a shotgun. This with a shotgun's fine, but ultimately this comp has enough tools to get you out. So you shouldn't ever feel like that you're comfortable sat here with a shotgun.
Ready to receive.
You're essentially just hoping the opponent's shit if you sit there with a shotgun.
Found the cloud that he had.
There's a vibe. Control B.
Anchor at his.
He's stopping power.
We're going to see a lot of stingers on this half by very North America coded of SEN to be bringing these in.
Bring them down.
The expert region with one of the silliest guns in the game.
Blinded.
They really want this mid control, Sen. Have already thrust Zekken straight down. And Wolves was playing, again, very passively early, just like we saw in that anti-eco.
Bro, this is bad by bang.
Wolves was playing control, Sen.
The silliest guns in the game.
Blinded.
They really want this mid control, Sen. Have already thrust Zekken straight down. And Wolves was playing, again,
There's something very scared about smoking B main, and then by the time it's not even like for some reason Bang seems to think that the opponent is past the smoke, and then immediately smokes.
passively early, just like we saw.
He smokes so quickly on B main.
Two players grouped up towards
I guess it's fine. I don't love it. I'd love to see a little bit more faith, but
Now Wolves do have to reclaim mid to some degree, but they're starting to encroach on A. And they've
like
got
if this person goes into B main now and sees a smoke, I would be like, they are weak on B.
a local player advantage here.
Juicy has worked some nice space here.
Approaches towards Ramen, but Second's got a pretty far forward on Bang. Sufat's able to spot it out though. They crashes away. Now Wolves do have to reclaim it to some degree, but they're starting to encroach on A. And they've
This is nice. Like the insert onto ramp now. I know that it looks silly because Sen are going to over rotate, but it's also about the fact that this wall and orb. Like Celsius now has a difficult decision as to how to use his toxin and then where to even play on the map. It's Sen look a little bit
they've got a local player advantage here.
like right now mid's so
Has
open.
worked some nice space here.
Yeah,
Ryu spamming through Sen.
Sen
and they
get the
are
read though.
rotating heavily to where Wolves have made noise. This is really reminiscent of that eco.
Sen just gambling off the fact that they got stingers pretty much.
Looks like Wolves want to force the issue.
Oh, this could be dangerous though. Second from within the dark cover, but Juicy takes the fight to them. That, however, though, is where the sting is.
Yeah, that's just a hard gamble from Sen, to be
Juicy is
honest.
cut down. 40 seconds left in the round, and here at least Wolves are changing things up. You'll note that Lysor has taken the spike across towards mid. They have, though, left Spring here.
30 seconds left.
Does Lysor dare try to take this spike towards B? Do Wolves attempt to pivot? They're going to. He should have 15 Sen to recover another
Oh, this is
upgrade.
10
Gun
seconds
to
left.
narrate.
Oh my god.
This could be
He has the gun.
This could be everything on the round.
The right gets past them.
I bet the crowd fucked this up.
Sufat is likely to come up behind Sentinels here, and they may not.
Nah,
be ready
please,
for a
crowd.
breath here as Wolves try and close the net. But John wins out against Spring. Sufat has to go large here, but he doesn't have much to shoot at. Sees John. Trigger discipline pays off.
Okay.
Now he's got that heaven control. Sentinels are starting to filter out onto the site. Lysol waiting. Dark cover blooms. He'll see it all here and brings Elsis to heal. The shot through the smoke might be too much in the hand of a Sufat from the rough.
Oh my god. That was nice from Sufat.
Old West's here. Beautiful flank, and then able to just snap onto the.
And they played this round out really well.
You have the right.
But they are still able to win it out.
Now those Sentinels do have their rifles backs to hand. Okay, second.
Oh, if I was second right now, I'm 4-0 down.
Rifles backs to hand.
And I'm like, this happens to me where I'm like, well, I can't even get value. Like, I can't even stay B main.
Okay,
What do I do now? I'd be like, I'd be shaking.
second best in that
I'd be like, well, what am I supposed to do?
He's up for a fight.
He will not shy
There's not like an easy way to win right now.
like that. Wolves are getting some space up here towards mid. Last time when this was the case, we saw Juicy just double satchel straight into heaven, and the rest of his team got caught off by Amali. Sometimes situations like that were their undoing in the qualifying runs. With the adjustment, his aim.
Yes, to me, this isn't anything to do with the Chinese approach to the game. What I'm seeing from Wolves right now is a very structured 1-3-1 team who knows how to play double Sentinel on like both sides of the map. Well, sorry, Viper Cypher, you know, like they know how to do the double like lurking stuff, you know. Like it's just good. It's just good gameplay. Like I can't.
Pull back from it, so now Sentinels do not have information about that part of the map. They have no idea. But Wolves have concentrated their players towards his A side.
The answer to the question, I think, is to have a better hold around middle. I think. Like Celsius needs to be playing the traditional vents kind of thing, and I think you play with 2-1-2. And then Celsius needs to grow a pair, basically hold vents more, rather than just playing like up here, which is probably the more mature way of playing. But again, this comp cannot punish you for playing vents in the same way as other comps. Sure, it has the Season 8 combo, but it's not easy to kind of do. It's not the easiest combo to get off. So I'd prefer Celsius playing around vents personally.
ACS and KPR controller in America's playoffs. A real standout player is about to have his hands very full.
And ultimately, if they do get to A site,
Feels the burn.
it's not going to be like retaking A is not the worst thing of all time.
Now, looking to take that ramp control, but look at Sen. They are going to get some players up ropes.
3 players.
I mean, I think I like this from Wolves. Is basically what I'm gonna say.
Essentially, fire for Sen Juicy going to cross. Second a bit too far, or John rather with that Trailblazers. Elsis, does he have an opportunity to get off the rope? No, he's just feeling the danger, the pressure.
I'm trying to think of ways in which you could easily counter what they're doing, but it's not so simple. You can't really do much on this side of the map. Like, this is too powerful. You can get active on this side of the map and kind of threaten the ramp a bit more, but and like get up close and stuff, but I think I'd just leave Sky here more solo. And then have like a more dominant control over middle. And then just have the Omen. Yeah.
At least get one here.
Do you know any tier 1 players who'd be down to match fix asking for a friend?
Danger, the pressure bang is going laser.
Player is about to also concentrated.
We saw Juicy just double satchel straight into heaven, and the rest of his team got caught. With the adjustment, his aim is
Map, they've got no bangs about to get awful busy. The highest ACS and KPR controller in America's playoffs. A real standout player is about to have his hands very full. We'll spray through, Sufat. Feels the
Phantom players.
Wolves are milling about here over towards main now. Looking to take that ramp control, but look at Sen. They are going to get some players up ropes.
3 players potentially fire for Sen Juicy going to cross. Second a bit too far, or John rather, with that Trailblazers. Elsis, does he have an opportunity to get off the rope? No, he's just feeling the danger of the pressure. Bang is going to have to at least get one here.
All the timing.
Oh, that's a nice stun.
Perfect setup and bang that brings the house down.
What a feeling the danger of the
Why on
pressure.
earth are there 4 people still on the same spot though?
At least
Why are 4 people scaling in the same fucking direction? No one checks this. No one goes this way. We just have full 4 people in the same direction. It's mental.
here.
All the timing.
Only two, what a fault line.
They took about 50 seconds to scale up ramp and get out of heaven, man.
Absolute game. They'll try and take the full where they've been point.
Called for set. I think they're probably set up for trades to get some information in those.
Ultimates right now. So you have to imagine out of this SEN, they could be setting up.
Do you think Bang being one of the best side counters is one of the reasons why they prefer to anchor A? More anchory site than B? No, B is a more anchor site than A. B, you sit here the entire round, and then you flash them. That's way more anchor position than A. B is far more important a site to anchor than A as well, because B is the site that if you lose, you're probably going to lose the round. You lose A site, you still have like retake opportunities. You lose this B site, you're fucked. Tiny little choke point, and then you got to jump down. Like it's not great. The reason why they're playing Omen A is because they want Yoru B. They want Yoru B, and I can't tell you why they want Yoru B. Logically, it would be because something to do with this wall. They want to play in front of the wall a lot. But honestly, it seems like a weird. I don't know if SEN play like that so much. If they just like start a game plan before even knowing how Wolves play, or if Wolves have shown this Viper Wall B in the past, and so they had this game plan. I don't know. But this the Omen is A because Yoru's B. It's not because they want Bang to anchor A.
Just a slower start for Yoru. Keep up.
That's after being on an absolute heater run.
It makes sense. So the 2-on-2, and then the Viper should lean this side because who cares about A holds, basically.
In the Americas playoffs, Second was an unbelievable duelist there. Early aftershocks.
Bang mostly plays A this year. Is this? Oh, it's mostly a Bang thing. What comps did they play before? I'm gonna argue that Sentinels have macro theory around B main, and probably want B main and don't feel comfortable playing from B side. If that's the case, if Bang's playing A a lot, it just means that Sentinels put heavy priority on B main, and they are right to do that, but they're probably wrong in the timings they're doing it. If you're starting every round playing B main in the way they're doing it, I think they're very abusable. If they're more like Fnatic, where like Boast is very good at kind of teasing B main as Omen and not needing to be a Yoru and not needing a breach, and then in mid rounds often re-clearing B main rather than just literally being B main obsessed the whole round, I think is I think it's the better way to play, to be honest with you.
Going to allow Second to press up into main, specifically playing off of that dark cover too. Wolves are going to have to invest some.
The fuck is this Viper Wall?
This Prowler to regain space,
What's this Viper Wall?
but that's not enough to force Second away.
They've got to cross through their own Viper Wall like 6 times to go to do anything.
The Viper wall that cuts mid. Wall's looking to
It's awkward for defense too, but again, this is even more reasons for Zelsis right now to be playing this and not this.
He has to give up B main.
Enough resources committed, and
If I'm Sen, I'm loving this Wolf right now. I would just be like, okay, just get me into B main and I can just farm, because now there's no wall to threaten. Like again, like if you're the Euro stood here, there's a big fat wall in your way. They can at any point just firing squad you down. Whereas now they can't fire and squad in B main.
that dark cover dropping, he knows he's in significantly more danger than Wolves going to.
I don't know what the fuck John QT is doing, I'll be honest with you. John should be looking here right now.
Bit towards mid. YU is just
he's that scared they're already up that he's just playing here, and then there's this huge disconnect between the two players. I don't really understand what John's doing, not gonna lie.
A side, they want to go for the split at the moment.
This is dangerous.
This is the weakest the A site has
Okay.
been in terms of numbers for Sen, when Wolves are actually.
But now they're playing connected.
Bank can sense here. He can sense something's a bit wrong, Wyatt. And risk of getting pinched now as that heaven control's been effortlessly taken by Wolves.
This is the kind of shit Sen wouldn't do last year, by the way. Like, when they've got 3 rotators that are literally a minute away, like, they wouldn't play like this last year. At Madrid, anyway.
Give it over by Sen. This is the position Bang was playing from the previous round. Is Juicy double satchel into elbow. Presumably.
Yeah. Analysis.
It's a devastating push. I know exactly. And there it is. Narrate just handled.
So guys, why should Sen not play like this right now? Have I taught you guys well enough yet? There's no help. I mean, yeah. I mean, the language I was looking for was because you don't want to hold your weak side. Their weak side A with no one close to helping. So like you don't need to hold. They're on the correct side of the map to weak side in terms of like retake theory, I feel like. I would much prefer to retake A than B. So they don't need to hold A. So like don't need to hold A. The exec power from this comp isn't the worst, so I guess that like holding isn't the most terrible idea. But you're losing to an like it's not just a main exec. Like there's multiple directions, so it's. I'm kind of glad Sen loses round. I'm not gonna lie. I really fucking love it when a team loses a round they should lose from like macro level. Yeah, and then the reason Sen used to be fine to play a bit more for retake is because they like to play for retake and they were good at playing for retake. I don't think it's as simple as I'm making it, where it's like you should never not hold in those situations. But it seems like the Sentinels post-Madrid, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Sentinels post-Madrid started playing to hold a lot more on their weak sides, and they looked worse for it.
John just not prepared for him to go through elbow, through the molly that was thrown down on the ground.
Who am I supporting this event? I mean, if I didn't do any work with Paper X, then probably G2. But obviously, it'd be kind of fun for Paper X to win.
The teleport out, it was caught by this man from Spring, who's at a cool 8-2 right now, 6 rounds into the game. He's getting pivotal first bloods. Some nice multi-kills.
Okay, now Omen is the B-main player.
Same as previously.
So I think they just switch out of just like pure, just whateverness. Ooh. Celsius got to deal with this weird smoke at mid as well. Okay, this is good. This is how, but like, this is how like Bang should probably be playing like early in the game, just to see if, you know, Spring is going to continue to use this wall. Like obviously the first gun rounds, Spring did actually go through. But if Bang can keep question marking this a little bit and be like, well, I don't think you're actually going to use the wall. If Wolves aren't careful, then Bang could control B main the entire game. Because one of the things about playing this kind of comp is that you sometimes forget that like to do the protocol of actually checking if someone's disrespecting you, and you just presume that like they're gonna respect you, because who would disrespect this util? Like it might be too. It's like so strong, it feels weird to disrespect. But then teams get lazy. So like Bang's basically like lazy checking Wolves right now. Oh my god, another opening pick.
YU Anko too sharp, and straight away we're into the
Zaken's not looking particularly like his job is pretty difficult right now, but he's not looking very good. Who would disrespect this all the Paperworks players? Both Bang and Kaplan said it took some rounds for SEN on the first split half to get used to the difference in playstyle. Again, I'm going to reiterate, this isn't anything. This is not a difference in playstyle at all. This is just a team playing good. This is just good structured Valorant. Like they're playing the 1-3-1 comp and they're playing it well, and they're actually using the util well. I don't think it's a difference in playstyle. Maybe they're slightly more aggressive than maybe other teams would do with this style, but it's correct. Nothing I've seen here is. This isn't some like, oh, China's playing crazy, like they're just running at us. This is not like that at all.
You're not coming to me? I guess I'm coming to you. 5 bullets in the chamber and he wins it out. That one could go your way. That's what Jordan speak.
Must win round. Economy was hanging in the balance. Imagine Wolves win that round. They get to 7 already on split attack. Major deficit SEN would have had to overcome. Second is just wow. He's in disbelief.
A lot more bursty contact into exec than a lot of NA teams.
It's a tight angle to be fair. What's else to say here? Falling the wrong way of the boom bot.
Isn't this exactly how Sentinels played in 2024 on split? What they're doing? Is it really that much different?
Vipers pit towards mid. SEN have really given up this part of the map in the last couple of rounds. This time, though, they stake their claim. Not again. Zelsa's having to play through that part of the map with the judge. Bang has the gap in the poison orb here, but Spring is very much aware of it. Damn, Tess strips off him.
He's so good, man. Spring is a menace right now.
But now breaking the action as Wolves look to concentrate over towards this A side of the map where it's really only John in attendance.
Yeah, currently just jiggle peeking.
I saw it.
They're going to send out that flash, perhaps for additional info, but no, isn't going to do so.
Is Sky worth playing on split? I think it's okay. I think Fade is better generally. Like, I don't think you need the flashes.
Mysore takes a glancing blow. Okay, looks like that fault line does connect. Slows Wolves up further again.
The irony of Sentinels' comp is that I feel like it's better now to retake A than it was when they used to play. Like, their old comp was way worse. Like, having Sky and Breach means that you can retake A better than with the Sky, with the Sova, sorry. The Cypher, sorry.
30-second mark in the round, but they begin to have it once more. The timing, John.
Oh, that's kind of lucky from John. Oh my god, narrate just. Wolves, okay, there's 2 rounds now where Wolves have just fucked up their scaling, right? Like, 1 round they all scaled here, 4, and now they're just like lazy scaling here with 3 and just get killed. Like, this could very easily be like 1-7 after this round. This very easily could have been a 7-1. A death scoreline. Do you still prefer Astra Omen on this map? I think I prefer Astra generally on this map. Yeah, I think I generally prefer Astra. But it depends on your comp.
Juicy gets a lovely first kill onto Zek.
Depends on the comp.
That was John got 1 wall still in up. Yeah, he does. That is so important from John.
I think Astra's win rate is already better than Omen's on this map. And that's with like people who don't know how to play Astra, to be quite frank about it.
That was a rolling thunder on line for Sentinels. Now last round they had the Vipers pick to take that mid control. This time, not an option.
Seconds actually picked up the Outlaw into this round. Multiple players that could be one shot.
Like, I think it is Astra's best map. So Astra, I like, just for feeling's sake, I think Astra fits. It doesn't fit this comp very well, I don't think, because you already have a very very, very turtled up kind of thing happening. And so like my intuition would be that Omen's kind of needed for like the bursty paranoias for both attack and defense. Especially the attack, you need the Omen paranoia just to like help this comp get out of space. Whereas if I look at this comp, we have Breach, Sky, Yoru. We have a lot of like util to like burst out of space, and like the Omen paranoia is not necessary with this amount of util. So I guess in general with Breach, I would be more fine to play Astra. In 2023, we played the Omen instead of the Astra, but it was more just a personal comfort thing for Jake at the time. Like I think we probably would say that the Astra was better, but there were some things he was doing with Omen that he couldn't necessarily do as easily with Astra. And then, yeah, I think actually it makes more sense with this comp actually, because the reason we played Omen partly was on defense. We could get like Sky dogged back into B main, but now Sky doesn't exist. You can't even do that anyway. So like your B hole probably becomes like an Astra just starring up and playing like Cryo Cells does. And you just anchor this B site, or like how Bosa does it now. Astra did only have 4 stars too, yeah, and Omen had 1-ways. Is basically what it boiled down to, and Jake liked doing 1-ways on this map. Do you think VOD reviewing your ranked games actually help because there's not much team play in general? VOD reviewing your ranked games does help, yes, but you won't be VOD reviewing in the way that I'm VOD reviewing. You're not going to be looking at the map and then talking about Viper walls and shit. You'll be looking at your crosshair and asking yourself, did you position correctly, and is your aim in the right place? And like, could you have swung better? Could you have rotated quicker? Like, you'd be just watching one POV. You're not looking at the minimap much. It's all it's much more micro if you're going to VOD review yourself in ranked. That's what's nice by SEN, just pushing out B. I mean, it is fucking anti-eco.
Wolves have gotten their way into the B site though, knowing it's vacant due to Bang having pushed out the other player going down. John concerned, clearing out Heaven.
Oh my god. Why did they paranoia that? I think they should have kept that quiet. Oh, Sufa again, man.
Impossible clutch, no HP, just the sheriff. The trade wasn't fast enough from SEN, they cannot be losing that. He took an outlook, he was out of the rounds. With a sheriff, he proves the mechanic big enough for 2 of them, or 3 in that case. Unbelievable, it's barely checked for. He ate that outlaw shot earlier, one of the only players that actually had full armor. There were 2 for Wolves. Yeah, that's a stand up. That's a stand up. A little bicep flex. I mean, you have got to call your timeout here. This is the second Sentinels timeout for the map. Called in round number 10. Kaplan very adamantly trying to assert himself here. And that really from the state. We're doing the sprint things that way. Sufa is on one at the moment. And this is just an aim day. But one thing gonna get, but we got Wolves at their finest to open up this game.
Spring actually wants to challenge the smoke here.
It's playing off that wall. Earlier was very passive when this dark cover was up.
He has to suspect that maybe the Yoru's got tucked there in B main. We'll check back in on that story.
Paranoid.
Sorry, I was just thinking about something.
Is going to keep.
It's not irrelevant, but it was about the coach cam, because we were having a discussion in the green room in EMEA about like Kakuka was saying that like when she thought that it was a bad thing when I was being reacting on camera, where like I was obviously like disappointed with the players, and she was like, I think that players might take that like, you know, it could affect them on some level. And I was just thinking then, I don't agree with her at all, basically. I was just thinking about it then, because I was watching the coach cam and thinking about, yeah, I think it makes sense to be the grumpy coach, because I was a grumpy coach when we were winning. So like, my argument, I think, is my role, especially in the teams that we had that were very good, was to keep them grounded. And by being a bit of a cunt on camera is probably a positive. You know what I mean? if my team was terrible and I was reacting like I was hated how they're playing, then obviously it's kind of bad because like they're just bad. But like my team was never terrible, so it's like if they're winning rounds and I'm still not happy, I feel like that's a pretty good situation to have. If you know what I mean.
There, Wolves are just hard committing. You know, they had a couple rotates
Like,
to be without
I don't
Sentinels
want the
playing
players to
as
think that just
well.
because we were winning rounds that I was going to be happy.
Once again,
So I would argue that way. Obviously, like, I do think there's probably times where, like, it probably would be, like, slightly inappropriate.
He just takes the fights and wins them. That severely reduces Sen's presence on A. Even John.
I think it's the context of your team, though. If my team was... If I was coaching the worst team in the league, and, like, we were just, like... I was just getting angry on the camera all the time, like, I think that's different. Like Alex? I guess that would be a criticism of Alex, that what she's saying, but like I don't agree with it necessarily. And I think like my argument too is that like there's something about just, I don't know, maybe it is toxic masculinity. I don't know, but like it feels like fine. Like we all just get it, if you know what I mean. I think we get it. I don't think anyone thinks that there's like a conscious, but I don't know. I do know what she means. Like if I was a player and I saw my coach kind of getting annoyed, maybe you would be like, eh.
Is simply the hero of this round. Juicy winning 2 isolated 1v1s.
What did Mini do for Paper X? I've probably done a total of about 10 days worth of work, so not as much as what people probably would hope. And it was just the most valuable stuff was just like just small feedback about some of the strategy stuff. And I can't tell you how much of it is truly being processed or not, but I think some of it had. Like, when I watched them on some of the maps, I'm like, okay, like, it looks like stuff that I kind of said about, but yeah, I can't take too much credit at all. My biggest value add is shoveling coal into the train. I think our opinion comes from something a lot of commentators and analysts who aren't experts get. When I did PUBG, I would get pro players pissed at me because I was criticizing the way the round they played, despite never getting further than semi-pro. But it's different. No. The point that the topic we're talking about is leadership. It's got nothing to do. It's literally just leadership. It's is your coach being snarky on camera and disappointed father look? Is that something that is going to make your players play better or worse? Is basically the question. It's not about my authority or reputation or anything like that. It's literally just, is having a coach who's being moody a better thing than not? I'm not talking about commentating, no, I'm talking about coach cam, yeah. Alex said you helped him quite a bit in his interview. When did he do an interview? I basically told Alex to watch. I would say, but if my coach wasn't frustrated at me for playing badly, I wouldn't let them coach me. Yeah, maybe that's, yeah. But there are times where I think that I'm probably being slightly unreasonable. Yeah. I think it's because I also in the green room or like when we're watching the games, I am sometimes just like saying that some of the players are noobs for like very like not very serious reasons, and so maybe they think that my reaction, like the grand finals with Vitality and Kickoff, I was obviously supporting Durka, and every time Durka was making stupid mistakes, I was just like tilting. And I think they thought that the way I was tilting about Durka in that game was the way I would tilt when I was in the coach booth, which it wasn't. Like, I was mostly just supporting Durka and trying to, like, you know, support him in my own way.
Things down, not trying to commit to
But
this
it wasn't
at the
Coach
moment.
Booth kind of reactions.
What is the plan supposed to be? Sufan obviously spike carrier. He's inching forward.
This has been enough time for Narrate's Spotlight to actually
Should be a pro in a team if you can't handle the pressure. I agree with this stuff, Saint. I agree with all this stuff, but it still doesn't answer the question of whether it is better or worse. Like, even with all this bravado, kind of masculine, like, oh, players should be able to handle this, like, stuff, which I kind of agree with. The fundamental question is it better or worse? You know, to be on a coach cam and do that. You know what I mean? Again, it's funny because obviously Alex is obviously guilty of it too. Like, me and Alex are pretty guilty.
I definitely think there's some overheating going on in the second. Now there's no more opportunity for Captain to see.
Yeah, Narrate not happy. When I see Narrate talking like that, I'm probably scared because I don't think Narrate should be the person. Maybe like when they've got like Celsius and John, you would hope Celsius and John would be doing that. Yeah, look at it. Like, Zekan's just like in beat. Yeah, Sen have no idea how to play against this comp. It looks like, and or this like Viper Wall setup. And to be honest with you, it's not easy. It's not easy. When you VOD review after games, would you watch a coach cam? Yes, but we'd obviously skip it.
All of Santa grouped up.
I try and skip it.
3 down mid. Wolves are pretty diligently trying to clear their way into B.
I think we were VOD reviewing once, and we did catch a banging one once, and it was kind of funny. Because I think Leo was the first to laugh. Do you mind if a player like Narrate gets vocal like that? No, I don't mind it, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you think about Sentinels, like, even with their seating positions, they swapped, right? Where they have John and Celsius literally between the rookies, right? The more rookie players. And so to me, like, a lot of the signals that Sentinels are showing to me is that they need these two to be doing a lot of the leadership stuff, because these three are prone to needing support. And so when I see one of the rookies, kind of more rookie players kind of acting like that, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's one of the reasons, like, maybe this isn't good, because like, there is a reason why they're trying to support and supplement this, if you know what I mean. On the videos, I said Narrate is mid-regen quite often. Okay, that's fine. I guess I was just worried because if Sentinels are making an active effort to make the kind of more rookie players feel more comfortable, and then the rookie player on the screen is the one getting stressed. Because to me, when he's talking there, I'm seeing someone who's probably very stressed. But again, I don't know this team. I can't really comment too much. Like, maybe he is doing good things. Maybe he is just able to take up the space that John and Celsius often do.
Narrator's had to jump into the pit. No other choice for it. He gets rid of it though. It's spring falling. That's the Viper out of the way. Now
Check the render rate tilted. I get what you're saying, but they just think check a corner. Yeah, but I'm not saying that. At no point did I say that the tilt was not necessary. What I'm saying is that if a big mistake happens, or a basic mistake happens, the last thing I often want is one of the rookie players to get annoyed and be like, boys, we're not playing good enough. Let's just remember to check our corners or something. Like, to me, like, that's not... I wouldn't want that. Like, I can understand a player feeling like they needed to say it, but I'd want one of these two to kind of, you know, be like, boys, like, you know, we're making stupid mistakes. You know, we want this game easy if we're not checking the fucking corners, if we're checking the corners properly or whatever, rather than someone stressed out, kind of looking angry. but I don't know, like, again, this comes down to, like, your kind of style as a team. I generally prefer a style where people aren't getting stressed and angry. Like, I don't think it's very, especially in Valorant, where, like, a lot of the players don't respond well to it. Yeah. Am I not watching the games live? No, I only watch PaperX live right now. My presumption is I will get more viewers if I do VOD reviews, and I prefer to do VOD reviews. So like it just makes more sense both ways, you know? Has there ever been a time where you genuinely didn't know how to fix what was happening when losing? Yeah, loads of times. Yeah. Yeah. That's not uncommon at all. One thing that like I was very bad at. I thought I was very bad at timeouts until 2023, to be honest with you. I was probably better in 2022 than I suspect, but definitely in 2021 I was a fraud in 2021. Fraud timeouts for sure. 2022 maybe okay. 23 I started to understand my style in 23. Like I got my style. And my style is I don't know the solution to everything. I don't know the solution to everything, but I know what the problems are. And so like there's two things here. Like I might not know the perfect solution to what I'm trying to solve. And even if I did know the perfect solution, quite often it's not worth trying to get the players to play that perfect solution because they're not used to it, you know? So it's like there's no point of changing everything to try and beat someone. You want to kind of play within your kind of means, your playbook, and your kind of comfort, right? So in 2023, my style was a lot of like, hey, this is what this team is doing. Sometimes I would then be like, I'd hopefully have a recommendation or suggestion. I think we should maybe do this. Boaster, what do you think? Or boys, what do you think? And then they would discuss it. And then I'd be like, okay, like, you know, hopefully I would then, you know, confer with them and then say what I thought about it, and then we would go ahead and do the thing. In 24, when I was assistant coach, I feel like my timeouts were actually very good. Like I think I got a lot of confidence in 2024, where like I was doing a lot more of like, boys, this is what we should do, and I know you're capable of doing this, and I would just tell them what to do. A little bit more. Like not all the time, but a little bit more for sure.
2 timeouts already blown by SEN. Frustration already bubbling.
I think my timeout win rate in 2022 and 2023 and probably 2024 was still very high though. I think my stats in 2022 were actually surprisingly good.
Individually are so sick. Juicy, Sufan, Spring are putting on a show.
I think. I think. I could be lying, but I think Yinsu said something about it once, like, because I think they checked for broadcast or something. But it's a lot of nonsense anyway, because it depends when you take timeouts too, right? Like, you could just be taking them on shit rounds, on eco rounds and stuff. Okay, anyway.
Juicy, Sufan, Spring are putting on a show.
Okay, so Wolves are playing strong A. It means that if Sen go B, they've lost the round. Like, if Sen go B right now, they win the round. Sen win the round.
The 1v1s, the raw.
They got no Yoru to like quickly cross map. This site is hard to retake. The Raze is doing the typical overextension towards middle. B is weak.
Are just going the way of
they should right now they should be fucking running. They should be running.
They need to wake up.
Lysol gets first contact here at B. This is going to draw Sufan.
Sen didn't want to risk it, but this comp is very good at going B too. The Breach, Omen, Sky, it's kind of good at going B.
Waiting right now to just play off of this fault line. Dark cover is going to get thrown down B main by.
Any idea why no Yoru is putting TP under ropes heaven B? How would you put the TP under ropes heaven B? And for what reason? From spawn. Because because the play pattern on this map is very rarely are you going to need to TP in on B to support a B hold. So it's a waste of time. Oh, yeah, it's a waste of time. And then also, like, the reason why you want your Yoru to TP, like, if you're gonna put your TP somewhere, you're probably putting it around this space somewhere, because you have the option to support Heaven or C2. You're, and then you're also able to rotate back into A quick enough. It makes more sense to be around this area with your TP, in my opinion, if you're gonna be B-sided. Because it's very rare that you're gonna be able to TP in and support a B hold. Also, it's risky as fuck. Like, if you TP wrong and they just immediately satchel here, you're dead. So it's better here that you could go back A in case like they are like pressuring you hard. You can TP and get into Heaven before they get up, maybe, or then decide to just actually flood the B.
Over there on B, who's stacked up.
Yeah, it's too committed and it's too risky. And genuinely, you wouldn't end up actually using it much anyway. And then, like, if they are B splitting you, you're in a bad spot anyway. Like, you're stuck. Like, you want to be kind of up here on the B split a bit more.
Just slowly taking the time, posturing up. It's looking like an oncoming B split.
That smoke indicates potential ropes control, but SEN do not have the players on that A side of the map.
Oh, is that, remember guys, what we talked about? The disguised split? I mean, the flash at middle makes it a bit less disguised, but the disguised split, remember? Where you smoke yourself off to make it feel like you're just going one direction, but secretly you've got little lurkers going up behind your own smoke. This should be like, I should do a video on this, right? Like, I think I'm the only person who's like talked about this concept much. Maybe this is like, it should be disguise split. Was there a different way to call it? There were some good names people put. I think disguise split. That name has no aura. Well, what? Give me fake split. Fake split doesn't work. Fake split is a straight up lie. Because it's not because it's too confusing. Disguise split is better than sabotage. Sabotage split. Disguise split is a good name for it. If you can give me a better name than disguise split, I'll use it. Secret split. Secret split.
Yeah.
Secret split's not bad. But it's not. It doesn't really get at the concept. Secret split is better. I mean, it sounds better, but I don't think it doesn't really. If I ask Sliggy, what do you think a secret split is on a map, and I ask him what he thinks a disguise split is on a map, I think he's more likely to know what I mean by a disguise split by saying disguise split than secret split. Late split isn't right. Late split is not right. Mass split and hidden split. Mass split is very good. Mass split. Ooh, mass split. I like that. Ooh. Mass split. That, if I am going to do YouTube content, I feel like the mass split needs to be...
With that smoke,
maybe this is what I need from you guys. I need you guys to help me. Every time you see a mass split from now on, I want you to send it to me. I want you to go on Discord. I'm going to make a channel on my Discord server, and we're going to be hunting for mass splits, okay? Because I think this is YouTube worthy. Why are we beefing over a name? Language is important. Language is very important. There's a reason why we took so long in Fnac to figure out what to call certain concepts or places on maps, is because language is really important. It's one of those, like, I know that Antis does get memed on fairly appropriately for, like, some of the, you know, because when he speaks sometimes he can use, like, quite high-level language, right? But a lot of it is very useful. Like, it does make... Like, even if I think about chess, like, I learned a little bit of chess, and the language helps you understand the strategy. So having good naming for certain concepts and able to, you know, assign language essentially to strategy is very important. What about bait split? It's not a bait split. It's not a bait. It kind of works, but I don't think that sneaky split isn't bad. I think mass split is the best. Bait split isn't bad, but it for some reason I don't get the right vibe when you say bait split. Ghost split. Lurking split. No. Lurking split doesn't... Because a lurking split doesn't tell you anything about, like, mass split, disguise split, secret split. They all, like, it is all about implying this smoke here. Whereas a bait split, or like a lurking split just sounds like you're gonna go up this way with a lurk, and you're just gonna do a normal split. That's what I hear. I hear that you're just, like, going for, like, a 3-2 or like a 4-1, and you're just using this normally. Whereas, like, the concept needs to really hit at this smoke, and, like, the fact that you're smoking yourself off. Sneaky split is perfect now. I think masked is the best. Masked is by far the best. If you don't identify with mass split, then you've probably, like, to me, I think that means that you probably haven't... Like, I think that people who are in strategic Valorant circles would identify with the mass split the most. Like, it almost tells you exactly what it is without knowing what it is. Smoke split is also not bad, but it also doesn't really... Like, if you say smoke split to someone, it just sounds like you're smoking, you're on a split. It doesn't sound like you're doing anything weird. Sorry, so let's actually watch this mass split. I might end up saying disguise split sometimes, because I think both are pretty valid. Okay, very easy for Sen. This has become the meta thing to do too. It's like everyone's loving this smoke to try and protect backside so that the defenders can play like this. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good as people seem to think. Like, I don't think it's essential to your split playbook, I don't think. Something doesn't feel quite right about it, is the way I would describe it. Concealed split. Concealed's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, it gives the attackers more room, yeah, pretty much. That's why I feel like it's not good, but...
Now it's ring around the rosy, folks, but now we're going to see them clash at the right click for narrates.
Testing started in the first, and it looked like even here they were about to once again succumb to the aim of these Wolves players. Spring isolated 1v1 taken against Bang. Gets the draw.
Second slipped the net and was able to pick Sufat off on the side. Anti-eco now for Sentinels. Phantom for John.
The Wolves team, so much damage early. Yeah, that is the name of the game when you're running.
Interesting. So Sen going for a wall orb, I think, right? So the ramp is always open. The ramp is always open. That's yeah. So basically, if I'm Wolves, I would just play one here quite a lot of the time. If this is the setup that Sen will use. I
The name of the game when you're running Yoru, that has been one of, if not the most relevant meta ults this entire year. Round defining.
This is quite nice. The very late lurk here. I wonder if this is an anti-eco protocol where, you know, if we get timing here, we could come back. But also, because of all this pressure on Heaven, they could also just go back this way, if that makes sense. Like, this is almost like Fnatic's anti-eco they started doing, where they got into Heaven and they just controlled Heaven. And eventually they would usually go A. But Boaster was sometimes here. And so if they do go this way, you can just go through vents. So I think this is a pretty good anti-eco. Obviously, Zelsis has to be really careful. Sen never mind. 5-man, I guess, is a Viper thing. It's a split thing. 5-manning on with this comp is pretty weird. 5-man split is generally pretty weird unless you're playing an exec comp. And Sen are kind of playing like... Sen would usually play this style of comp, which is far less exec heavy. And they're probably applying a lot of the same theories to this comp, despite it being a lot more exec heavy. Well, quite a bit more exec heavy. Hello, True Bump. What are we doing for time? I've spent an hour on a map. 1 hour on one map. So I think I probably should pick and choose between the maps a little bit. And at a certain point I'm gonna get hungry and wanna go. So I probably won't literally watch every single map all the way through. Other map is less interesting? Okay.
John checks Heaven and is very lightly held.
A lot of on this attack side, which is just
very strange, very strange. So we see Wolves doing almost what we would call a mass setup, you know? So like a defense mass setup. Fade, Prowler, I think, Omen, Smoke, Raze. All just because they could then leave it and leave the Cypher by themselves. And like Sen think, oh my god, there's loads of people B. We can go A or go up middle. But secretly, they've masked it. And they're going to end up with like 4 mid and A. But the Cypher's alone B. But the problems with this mass setup are, if Sen do just go A right now, they're in for a good time. The second thing is there's been no established narrative around B main for either team. So it feels weird to need to mask any shenanigans. Like, Wolves are essentially starting their defense with a sub that's masked, but they're not masking anything yet. Really. They're just kind of... Like, usually you would start your game, like, if the Cypher should probably be A right now, and if they want us to take B main, they just do this B main take, and then later into the game, they could be like, okay, like, every time we're doing this, they're kind of taking it slowly from us after, and then we're not sure what they're doing, so we could just, like, put the Cypher behind it, maybe? But I don't really understand what Wolves are doing. It's like they're... Yeah, so they just prod it and go away. But I would argue right here, the Raze had enough information just to sit here the whole round, but he doesn't want to because there's a Cypher behind him. So it's like, right now, this side would be better if Raze was just here and Cypher was A. Like, it doesn't make sense, really. They're like overthinking it. They're overcomplicating. Oh, Paper X played today? I'll be honest, I didn't even realize. I guess I will be watching Paper X today, yeah. I'll have to figure it out. Because right now, it's taking too long. They are faking B main space, though. But why does it faking B main space matter.
In that moment, what we're going to be seeing a lot of on this
In this very moment right now, why would the Rays not just hold this? Why would you want to fake this space? Just hold it. Like, there's no reason for him to not hold it. It's the best. This might be the best line on the map on defense to hold in terms of value, and he's getting it for free. This round would work nicer with a Yoru. I agree with that too. But still, if the Yoru was the person TPing away, I'd still want this player to just walk up and take it back, like to just go and replace him. But the Cypher's not going to want to do that because he's a Cypher. The only other thing I could think of is that this is actually sick. Like, you take this, you take your trip and you put your trip here, and then you go and play elsewhere. And then you've got a trip doing the job of a person, and then the Cypher can even play like up here and be more of a mailroom kind of player. And until that trip breaks, you just play the Cypher towards mailroom. Like, that's actually good macro, or actually like a more interesting idea, I think. Then essentially playing a bastardized setup. Because this just looks like a bastardized setup now. It doesn't look like it's got a goal.
Wolves have a player in ropes. One's just entering that part of the map. Sufat looks to re-clear.
Sufat's actually swinging out. Does have to back away. Does have to give that space up.
And now they flood into A site and they get there kind of, but now we got 2 players stuck in vents and 2 players stuck site. So there's like not really a synergy. Ooh, who cares about synergy if you just hit a headshot up the ropes though?
Interestingly, Wolves playing around this smoke, not looking to get entrenched in elbow, just want to play forward. Spring pops his head up and it's whack-a-mole for John.
You could say he sprung his head up. Okay, yeah, a bit of a disconnect from Wolves there. Like, the way that, like, this round works here, I'm not really sure why Juicy is so obsessed with watching the flank. Just go and help your Viper player. And then these two are just kind of on an island. They're desperate for no reason. 5v4 right now, they should just escape, and then we just to play a proper retake. These start going up the ramp. One of these peels off maybe in like holds heaven. Like, I don't really know what they're doing. They're just kind of desperate. If you know a Cypher that enemy is executing on the opposite side, would you take your trips and try to use them the other side? Yes. At least one of them, yeah. Like, if you're the Cypher here and you're rotating this way, you should probably pick up a trip and then try and put a trip just like somewhere here maybe. Just because you might as well. Like, you could even be a nerd and put one of the trips like here. Like, just in case. Like, there's like no reason really not to, I guess.
With these rifles, this full buy for Wolves. Have to untangle this round.
You want to see many see the Sunsex you think is a really good comp? You mean Gen G comp? I don't like the deadlock, if that's what you're asking. From what I saw of them, I kind of get what they're doing, and I liked the like stuff. On defense, I liked it, what they're doing. There were some holes, but I generally liked it. Attack was dreadful, though. I guess maybe I shouldn't really be. I mean, Paperx are playing Gen G today, so I probably can't. I will probably avoid talking about Gen G too much.
There's no initial anchoring presence on that side for Wolves either. They had to.
Yeah, Viper was the thing they did wrong on attack, yeah. But it wasn't because of what Bacon was saying either. I remember Bacon talking about the A, not having a smoke on A. I think that my understanding of Sunset is very different, where like this whole A control stuff is vastly misunderstood, I think.
This is awkward now. No one to swing off that line, and we are caught in the aftershock.
Okay.
Just to walk Let's get this shit.
Sentinel, they're going to follow
All rounds.
pieces that duo working mid, while the rest of the team take B main.
Bro, I think if you're walling mid, you've lost your mind. That wall that Loud used to do, I think is one of the worst walls I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's really bad. It's more helpful for the defenders, I feel like, most of the time. I wouldn't use any util at mid at all. Like, for attack. You either want to deny A or B. But I actually think I prefer B. But I think mid is pretty useless to wall.
Who's next?
Dimensional drift. Zach been eating those orbs.
Yeah, double orb's not better than Viper on Sunset.
I'm going to get all of this info and then
Double orb is still terrible on every map. It's not good. It's really not good. Like, bro, smokes don't stop people from beating you. Like, if your smoke has damage on it, then it's a bit more useful than when it doesn't have damage on it. Like, just because noobs run through one ways poorly doesn't mean that smokes are good. I will never see the vision. I will never see the vision because no team who plays double orb will ever scare me.
Mental. Won't throw it out. Waiyu is going to be in trouble. Just set up on all sides. No escape.
It's annoying in prac. Like when we first practiced against double orb, it was annoying because we had to shift our mentality and protocols and realize that, like, okay, they're just constantly smoking us off on one ways. How do we beat this? And in our first practices against double orb, we would just into it and be like frustrated about it. But then you take 2 seconds to think about it, and you're like, oh wait, shit. You don't actually need to int.
He gives himself up as well. This is the rifle round for Wolves.
Whereas Viper requires you to, like, actually be delayed, and you cannot just brute force it.
As a full team in that moment, Waiyu makes too reckless of a decision trying to get back in there. He's going to get overwhelmed, and does. Now, at best, maybe goes 1 for 1, and then Spring feels like he needs to come in to help. But Owen else
Double orb was not good on the best, no.
Trying to pivot over mostly from that
No,
base side.
it was very
Not
overrated.
close to assist.
It was very overrated.
Pretty devastating. At least for Wolves with this save, they'll have an
Look at, like, how Fnatic played with double orb, and then, like, how good they played without double orb. Like,
get to 10 with ease.
it's like it bakes you into playing a certain style that's not good.
Worn quiet have gone off the boil. What can they manufacture here? Still a buy for them in fairness. 2 half armors, but reasonable arsenal.
The reason people played double orb on Abyss was also because they wanted to double smoke middle, which is also pointless. Like, it's like again, like a misunderstanding of the map, I feel like.
SEN posted up right now for that ramp take.
Yeah, double orb is better against worse players. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. I was under the impression the A control says that's pretty much default strategy, allows you to stop fast sets and later get info and space for one player instead of 2. I could go into that later a little bit probably, but I'm not saying that A control is bad on Sunset. I'm saying that the ways in which you should control A on Sunset is kind of misunderstood, and like the slight differences in priority of, like, where you should be stood and stuff. Like, I think if you think that you need to have 3 players shut down A ramp every single round and one way isn't correct, if that makes sense. And again, you could probably see that from when we played Sunset with the Astra. Like, we had, like, a different approach.
Juicy here. The only player occupying heaven right now. That TP sound cue for him just makes him uncomfortable, forces him down.
Fnatic were 1-2 with double orb, 1-4 without it. Yeah, but look at them once they played, like, didn't they play it after double orb? Like, they went to double orb out of desperation because they didn't know how to play the map. And then they switched away from it and looked reasonable. They lost the foot. I think they went 1-1 and lost the foot. But again, like, I can do this all day because I know Fnatic well, but they lost the foot because foot went B 10 rounds in an attack half, and Fnatic played 2B the entire defense half.
catches out Bang to even things up. Juicy is a wild player.
And then it's just spray.
I think the understanding of Abyss as a map was generally
Die by the sword,
terrible.
Bang, die by the sword as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right now.
So once they had, once the dust had settled, they decided on double orb as they're like, okay, the dust has settled. People kind of understand the map a little bit now. We're gonna go double orb, and then looked terrible. And then with the solo Astra, I would argue looked actually like a real team.
And you still just have it's this duo, Zelsis and Zekken, who are working.
They did look good with the solo Astra. They did. They did. They did. I could have taken one timeout on the map they lost, and they would have won that map. Like honestly, they were pretty good. Vitality were also pretty good on the map, and they were playing solo, I think. I can't remember who else on the road was good at the time on the map. But I think any team that was smoking middle twice at the start of the round were not teams that I was particularly scared of if I was to play that map.
Juicy ascending with bleed, fighting through tier 2 to make
This is out. Sen posted up right now for that ramp take. As you can see, Nere ready with the fault line. It's so but it's just spammed through.
Juicy here. The only player occupying heaven.
I don't know what I would play nowadays on Abyss though. What would I play nowadays on Abyss?
Spring will be there on the top of
Oh my god, that's kind of sick. I
I
mean, SEN are just grouping A for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why they're just grouping A.
through the wall from both teams.
They are just grouping A.
Live by the sword, Bang, die by the sword as well.
Sen are going for the noise cut right now.
I do think Team Mini, especially Sideshow destroys all 8 teams in Swiss. I agree. Predictions for today. I don't know.
Spring is just.
Oh, wait, the timing? He's turned! Second, brings him up. Why are you the sole player over the B side of the map? And this is going to get a bit hairy for him. Does he choose to try and fight, to commit to this engagement?
Do you think EMA was terrible at this? What did we do wrong? I mean, I remember you thinking that you should play retake B, which I think is, you know, just very wrong.
Ascending with bleed, fighting through tier 2 to make it back onto this team when it wasn't
Retake B, sorry. Yeah, retake B. Yeah.
He's going to go looking via Ramen.
Had to wait years to get this opportunity.
Bro, I've lost my nail scissors and my nails are fucking long and annoying.
Surely not another save.
God almighty, I feel like a fucking idiot. Right, let's go back. Let's stop talking about this. I'm distracted.
Off rounds. This is Clay Sufat.
Full armor for Wolves. A very respectable buy.
I mean, I did think that this would be mostly house. I mean, have they conditioned them to play 3A after all this A abuse, and now they're just straight B hitting? I mean, they got breach shot, so they're just breach shot B. But if this dog gets enough space out or sees this cipher, then they might save the breach shot, which is pretty big.
That is fine.
They have actually opted to just
Yeah,
B site. They have a kill.
Yeah, that's bad. So the Yoru is able to get backside there for free, and now they don't need to breach shot, but they'll probably breach shot off of reaction.
Unhinged from Spring.
Desperate from Spring to try and get something done.
So yeah, the problem with playing like Wolves have recognized the setup, right? They're like, we're gonna play off the site because they're gonna breach shot us. But then you can't just sit off the site and not let them breach shot you. Like this is like the game. This is like the advanced chess. You know what I mean? Like Wolves are playing like they're not playing level 0 or level 1. Level 1 is like don't read breach shot, right? Like that would be like level 1 is your move. You don't read the breach shot. Level 2 is like offsite against breach shot. Level 3 is then like this is like the level where it's like you want enough pressure to make the breach shot, but you can't get hit by it. Like so you're like baiting the breach shot. Most teams sit here. Some teams sit here And then almost very little teams sit here for some reason. Yeah, most teams don't seem to talk about this stuff very much. And so it's nice to see Wolves are talking about it. But sometimes it might even just be better for the Cyphers to play normal here because good teams end up just beating you because you're like giving them too much space, basically.
A very respectable buy.
Hello,
I think
Clex.
this may be a little
Epic Pen. Yeah, Epic Pen.
brutal life. That is fine.
They have actually opted to just give up this B site.
So you want to ult site as a breach or heaven? It doesn't matter where the ult, like, well, the breach is basically, what I'm saying is they're going to dog in, they're going to get the space. If they see anything, they breach ult. And they're going to probably breach ult the site. They'll breach ult the site. Ulting up here is probably pointless. But they will breach ult the site if anything here. If they see the attackers start, the defenders start flooding in, then they'll ult like this way. Slightly towards heaven, you know?
What is Spring?
Hoping to just get a spam kill from.
The Spring wants to fight even rafters. What is that?
Yeah, Saint, we're talking about one international event at the start of the game's life cycle, though.
Try and get something
Right?
done.
He's on his own. We talked about this. Out of the open trap, take a duel as a Viper. Here's that attack side Viper's pit. Lysol trying to get busy now. No second is in the corner, but the shot he comes.
Oh, and Bangkok, yeah.
With the pride of New Jersey.
I mean, he took about to finish.
Still active, of course. Juicy trying to disrupt.
What happened with Vitality at Bangkok? Did they not play Abyss at all? I thought their Abyss was fine, wasn't it?
Safely. They're on a clock. 2 players left here for Wolves. Losing this round will banish them to the
Again, like, I don't care about EMEA. Like, I'm better. Like, I know, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, we did badly at champs with that comp, but ultimately, what we lost like
absolutely booming.
3 extremely close games in some of the worst fashion I've ever seen. Like, we lost a DRX because we didn't scale with a drone, like, on our attack side. Like, it's pretty bad.
Rounds in the lead, and we're out of our seats once more.
It looked like
Yeah, I mean,
had the
yeah,
right
Vitality
to
lost to
there.
DRX
They were just
13-11.
a kill trip, they give up
Yeah.
the site, allow the stack on A. So if Sen do hit A, they've got 3 players there ready to go. And then when necessary, we'll move over, pivot into a flood, or just go for a full retake. Either one would have been highly
A
recommended.
DRX who were abusing Teo meta and playing solo.
So unfortunate. This is it for Wolves. Full investment, 4 ultimates on the board.
Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, but Vitality are also Vitality at that event. Bro, you can't have this argument with me and just like we just pick out specific things. Like it's just we're never gonna agree. Like I think that it's dog shit and you don't, so like my reasonings for it are pretty much that smokes do not matter. And you're right, you think that orb smokes matter. I think orb smokes are used on executes and are useful on executes, and I don't think they're particularly useful at anything else compared to Viper smokes.
Fully spotting him out. Spring's steadfast right now. Just has not been able to get.
I think the opportunity cost of running more orb smokes for your defaults makes no sense.
Just gets the spike, gets out, but he knows he's going to be pursued. Why you from the low ground's not able to win it out? And here's a showstopper from Juicy.
I think I guess the way I read it is that people think Omen's better than Viper, or Astra's better than Viper, I guess is the way that they would see it. Because for some reason they think they need Paranoia, is basically what it comes down to. They think that Paranoia is such a good ability that you can't... Like, that's the reasonable way to deconstruct that, I think.
10 seconds left.
Nearsighted, player in heaven. One on boxes and Sufat towards his left.
Any thought on Paper X versus Genji? You play Omen Clo on Sunset?
They waited a long time for this round.
Okay, I mean, then you probably, yeah, you would probably lose. Thoughts on Genji? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what am I supposed to say? Genji looked good yesterday. Genji looked good. Paper X looked good. It's gonna be a good game.
And then they do flood. It was a hell of the advantage. Wolves are back in the game, but Sen still have too much cash.
Sees here, Bang. Has the TP away from it. It was a fault line that directly connected with Juicy, but his team's util bailed him out.
Again, I like this from Wolves out of that previous time.
What's Joel?
It was called by Coach Fade. They're stacking
Wait,
up
sorry.
towards A.
Thoughts on the 100 Thieves Sage comp for split? I think Sage is fine there. I think it's not bad. They just play, what do they play? Nowadays they got to change, right? But it was Teo meta, right? So Teo Breach, right? Astro Sage, I think. So they basically just replaced a Viper with a Sage. I think in the long run the Viper's more consistent. But some of the gimmicks they had with Sage was good, and you also win some games with Sage, I guess, because teams are pretty bad at times at dealing with a Sage. But then I would argue you also win some games with Viper because teams are very bad at dealing with Viper Orbit Middle too. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say about that. I think it's Sage is slightly underrated, I'd say. Slightly underrated.
Second did teleport away to meet up with the rest of the pack. The entire SEN team are about to be in mid right now. Spring could be in some danger here. He's tucked in a corner. He can't get out to the left side. Now could with the dark cover play. That was something Wolves, they had not departed from this site.
The cams there as well. Why you likely able to
Oh, it's a nice ult.
I
I mean, I like that SEN are abusing this backside. Oh, that was close. Surely Wolves win this, yeah. Okay. Fast A again.
Now this is getting interesting.
I think this is this kind of default is probably, if I thought I was way better than a different team, the ramp default is probably a reasonable default to do in like high pressure situations, because it's very like you scale up, you scale up, you scale up, you slowly suffocate out the defense, and as long as you don't make a massive mistake, you don't just insta lose the round. So like, I think this kind of cool makes sense, I guess. The only thing is you then do walk into stacked smokes here, but due to all this pressure, SEN just go A side, which is kind of good. And they do have the comp to be able to do this, like they're ready to stun and stuff, so. Good protocol from SEN. Oh. Oh. Oh, Lysor. Spring just over peak 2. Lysor whiffs, man. That's pretty bad. Have I ever played CS? Yeah, I used to play in CS. Can you suggest the main agents for me? I'm gold 2. I was thinking about making this into like a video, maybe. I'll show you in a second.
30 seconds.
He's trying to draw him out, tapping the spike. Still 23 seconds left in the round. And why you has been ever so patient. John sticks it for real though. Now Zelsus and John grouped up here. So Zelsus should be watching this line. Why you swings it?
Like, I like Warcraft 3, the game Warcraft 3, and there's like 4 classes to choose in Warcraft 3. And like the guy I watched called Grubby made like a video about like which like class to choose as like a beginner, and so he uses quite a lot of good logic around it. I don't think it's as easy to do it for Valorant, but like maybe it is an interesting idea that like I give my opinions on like if I was to like coach someone starting out in Valorant, like what agents they should play. The Giga Chad answer is like you just play what you enjoy. Honestly, like that's the main thing. Like if you enjoy playing the character you're playing, you will be better at the game. Like I don't think it's particularly close when it comes to like just playing something you enjoy. Okay, so the Euro ult B split, but then the Viper walks behind it. Really nice by Spring to expect that. I think Zeus is fucked up though, Zelsa should probably just be waiting here for a lot longer and then take the timing. I don't know why he's fucking around there. Nice trip as well from the Cypher. But that's quite a nice lurk. It's like Wolves have done their homework, right? It looks like Wolves have done their homework. It looks like they expected this round. Like, who puts a trip here? And I've never seen a trip there before.
Finally get to the back of the site. There's no trip here to stop Second though, so Sen have this big control. Prowler thrown out once again. Bang has to TP away.
I guess it's pretty much the same as the mid one. Like, why wouldn't you just use the mid one? I guess it's a valid response. I mean, he uses it anyway. Maybe the trip was more to do with... No. I was thinking this trip here is probably good against teams that do double satchel mailroom, right? But they don't play that raise, so...
One-way unbreakable Rada is still up there, so he's going to have to deal with that.
Okay, Juicy flies in the jumps. Second's having to trade it out. Gang crashed now to a safer position. Bang is still on the side. Second runs into Lysol.
Oh, Second has a round.
Just John now. They know he should be here. He had to break the trip. The timing. John's going to commit to the site.
Oh, that's so lucky.
Too fat on the other side of the dark cover. John very, very low, but he's buying time. He got it to half. There's no way. There's just no way he can stick it.
Okay.
Flash in the back.
Yeah, I think Celsius fucked up in this round. Oh, the Euro clone almost won them the round there. You see that? Look at that. He puts the clone out immediately. He shoots it by accident because it's the judge who's going to randomly shoot, and he's just full blind. The fuck is Second's crosshair, by the way? For what team? The most successful team I played on. One sec. I wonder if it's still Star Series. I played on an Italian team. I played on this team, but like I had university, so I basically just sometimes didn't bother playing. We pretty much played a 6-man roster. So I played in this team, and we played against loads of good teams. And I mean, you know, they lost 16-13, so I wasn't terrible. We lost all our games though, and pretty much like this was us. But like we had decent results. Like we beat these guys who had some good players on. We should have beaten Faculty. We should have beat like one of these teams, but they had a cheater on their team. I think we got like 10 rounds against most of the best teams. We should have beat Kick, which was Fox's team. Like we would get like 10+ rounds against like Nip and stuff.
Wolves are a couple orbs away here from critical ultimates. Nightfall, Showstopper.
Although I didn't play many games, like I had university, so I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest with you.
There's no way. Why are you anchored on the site? We'll have Juicy on raft.
And we would play for like 30,000 viewers. Like this was the start of CS:GO. It wasn't like it was like probably tier 1, but it was very early days.
At the moment, Wolves are posturing towards B heaven. That's actually going to be a teleport to get info in A main and a cancel. But John, it's false info.
What tier is it? I mean, my team maybe wasn't tier 1, but that was the, you know, we got 10 rounds against the best teams in the world. You remember Lemon Dogs? I mean, I dropped 30 against, like, I played generally terrible and was the IGL most of the time, and then when we played against Lemon Dogs, I dropped 30, and Twist at the time was supposed to be the new superstar Swedish player, and I fucking dominated him, which was quite fun.
Pivoting into B, I swear. He's selling it. I swear we're going B.
The right even gives up a bit of his health and all of a sudden he does keep Juicy interested at B for now.
That was very early paranoia. But they got the flood in.
Bang caught in the seas, but will heal back up after the decay. Silfat here. Oh, Spring wants to
Spring didn't need to take that timing. The way I describe this is that if you're Spring, you've made all the noise. You need someone else to now distract for you. Like if someone's here, gets contact, then you run in. But he's just running in on his own timing. like desperate for no reason. There's no like he's no information to run at here.
Spring wants to take the fight characteristically. He also flubs the shots. Sen running over this A site. 10 seconds left for a spike pod. Though it's going to happen soon. He's second into the fault line. He has the showstopper. Oh, but he goes down. There it is, folks. John runs one.
Okay, messy. I don't think Sen will look this bad on split again. I think that they didn't know how to adapt to Wolves' attack side. I prefer Fade on this map. Will I watch Party PRX versus DRX later? It's Genji, not DRX, but I think so, yeah. Yeah. You mean the 2013 roster? What? What do you mean, Sen? Please don't watch Lotus. It was Delpan and Twist and probably Peter. Yeah, probably. I can't remember. Please don't watch Lotus. People are saying don't watch Lotus. I mean, I probably won't. I kind of get it. I get it. I've watched this too many times. I know what's going on. So I'll probably skip that. Let's go to MIBR. I'm gonna get a drink though quickly. Aspas. Is this Aspas's worst performance in an international event? It has to be, right? Oh shit. It's not even him. Look at the macro. I mean, yeah. I mean, we will. Right. Can I quickly run an ad quickly? Oh, 670 viewers, guys. Thank you very much. I'm getting a lot of viewers right now. I'm gonna quickly run an ad though, because I want to get a drink and just stand up for a second. I also have a fly trying to beat me up right now, so I need to deal with that. I'll be right back. One sec. Oh, sorry. This is not a Herman Miller, no. It's so bad that this is also two different chairs. Like my other this same version broke, and I had to order a new one, and half the chair is the old version and half the chair is the new version. It's a terrible chair. If only Mimi was a nice person who wanted to win. You know? Then I could be sat on a Herman Miller right now, but you know. I don't usually do this, but I was on my phone. Did anyone see Shox's dress yesterday? I know it seems weird, but Shox's dress yesterday was I give it a thumbs up. Like I'm not a fashionista, but that looked pretty cool. Does he know he's muted? Yeah, shut up. You didn't watch LEC? I was watching LEC just because I was trying not to watch the Valorant games. And I was trying to see what LEC do on the broadcast that we don't do. I was learning, I was researching. Okay, right. So Gen G. Also, I had a delivery today. My fucking door, my buzzer doesn't work. So I put this huge thing on the door that says, "Call my number if you're making the delivery." The buzzer doesn't work, and they fucking refused to deliver it today. They've just been like, "Oh, we couldn't deliver it. You weren't in." It's like, I am in. There's a huge sign on my door that says that I am in, and to call my number. But thank you very much, you fucking asshole. Anyway, so Gen G, I remember I watched a tiny bit of this, like just accidentally almost. I remember I saw they were doing this wall on B. Pretty good wall. It just cuts off multiple. It gives you some B main control. Cuts off multiple points. You know, you continue to get the B part of it, but then also like it's a bit of a pain in the ass to scale through because you got to go through it like a bunch of times. So it's a bit annoying for the attack. The only things I would say is that reasonably, if the Viper is playing aggressive with it, I mean, I do think the breach comp should be able to just go through it at a certain point. Like, if they wait for the wall to go down, like, they should be able to punish at times. But that does take time and utility tax, right? But I'm wondering how MIBR are going to react to this Viper wall, basically. And my proposal is they don't react to it very well. Yeah. My proposal is they probably don't react to it very well. I think they also probably orb here, right? Orb here, Viper wall here. And then the Deadlock can play around here and just like threaten nets as well, which is quite annoying. So if you haven't seen this stuff before as an attack, I could imagine it's like kind of overwhelming. But at the same time, if you think about it for 2 seconds, like as soon as this wall goes down, if you think they're weak on B, you can just B split and then threaten, you know, stuns and stuff into B main.
Ready to get into this series.
I think.
Jump right into the pistol. Outspot.
131, just ready to flood, kind of pistol from Gen G. I already don't know what MIB are doing, to be honest with you. They're paranoia. They pre-fire the paranoia, and they're droning in, and Aspas is running past the drone anyway. But what's the point of the paranoia if we're droning? Like, you drone and then paranoia off the drone. We're just using Utah for the sake of using Utah. We don't know what to do. I don't get it. And then Verno, the poor Verno who's actually used his drone is now getting fucked over. Something's going wrong already. A nice reaction from Gen G to push middle though, to be honest with you. And then something we're wondering about Sunset now is with the tiny choke on the left, and then this jump up choke, tiny jump up choke. I wonder if we are going to see teams try and hold this backside a bit more. And I think the Deadlock probably is pretty good at doing that, I guess. Right now with this trip. But the defense has to flood fast though. You can't be fucking around too long. And then like maybe the Deadlock could wall one of the sides. And then smoke up one of the sides and have the Deadlock wall on one of the sides with the smoke or something. Like I can see that actually working as like a backside contain. But there are still some things that you could do against that.
Gets 2 big kills with that Sheriff to open things up. The Guardians for Gen G shouldn't surprise anyone. They are big. Sheriff to open things up. A bunch of Guardians for Gen G. Shouldn't surprise anyone. They are big fans of that gun.
That they are.
That recon actually just worked like that.
There. Orb gonna be picked up. Fast track that rolling.
So Munchkin Judge in the corner already.
Swing onto the corner. Karan, the one tap, the spike now on the floor, slide across the way. Thunder.
I think I was watching Artist for a second here, and he was like saying how much Aspas baited this.
Fast track that rolling thunder. Swing onto the corner. Karan, the one tap.
It was a bit
Fast
baited,
track
to be
that rolling
fair.
thunder. Swing onto the corner. Karan, the one tap, the spike now on the
But they didn't say, they probably didn't call they're gonna peak, and Artson just peaked, I think.
Weapon to be lost, but that's about it. Texture sliding right up into Verno's face, greets him with a 3K, and it's going to be Gen G. Overall, a very clean anti-eco.
Yeah, so far so good. Got some good reads on the map. I mean, for Gen G, it's all about map control. That is the way they want to play this game. They want to pressure you. They
So you do that yourself, watch Artist. I watch, I try and make sure I know a little bit of people's streams, and like, I'm interested by how they stream, you know?
Off the races already.
having fun, and oh boy, Alex from PRX the other day.
Karen's off the races already.
having fun, and oh boy, PRX the other day.
Karen's off the races already.
having fun, and oh boy.
What? Why?
Yeah, blink.
Why? Why?
PRX the other day.
Karen's off the.
Technically, they did stun too, and he has been one-tapped stunned.
fun, and oh boy.
But for a bonus round, an anti-bonus round,
Yeah, blink and you miss it.
don't really know why they are doing that.
Inside of B main, Ozpot's dead.
Like, if you know the opponent has weak guns, you don't run at them like that.
But look how aggressive they are on the map right now. You've got Karan all the way pushed down to A main. He has so much info, and they get that early kill, and they immediately
Break this fucking wall, please, someone.
the safety and the comfort of the deadlock utility to fall back onto the B site to open things up. Now, this is
Using
right
top
now.
middle is
Top
interesting.
mid. Just got Ash here watching it right now.
Oh, and Ash just kills them all. Cool. Yeah. Rest in peace. So that's 4-0 to Gen G.
Get themselves on the board.
Be a big way to try
Top mid split.
just get the ball rolling here. Drone able to spot out at least the one. Not sure if Ash had gotten
I know that Munchkin still got the judge at round 4.
scouted. Cage down, Foxy already within it though, so not going to be giving over any information, and that means that Cortezia does get taken down. Hotspots now, once it's already within it though, so not going to be giving over one way. Going to be more damage.
Okay. I mean, it's a 4-0 start, and nothing really, nothing big has happened really.
When it came to the three teams that spite looking like that for them, as the year went on, they fell off. They started to lose.
And then the switch up. So before, Gen were just playing Deadlock Viper kind of around here with 3A a lot of the time, and now they switched it up.
The Pacific. So going back with a very different comp though, a very different look than what we saw last year.
Viper Orb is a bit deeper. The Omen's up top.
That inflexibility from Gen.
Operator on the Viper. This is nice. It is nice. Now using the Viper wall as like a bait, where like they're gonna scale through, use utility, their attacks, and now there's just an opera on the angle. They did, yeah. I remember saying this yesterday. That they random. This is bad, to be honest with you. Like, I think the deadlock using net instantly on A is not a good thing here. I think it gives away too much information for my liking. I'd rather the opponent doesn't know that we switch our deadlock setup. So I don't like this net. It kind of gives away too much information, I think. But that being said, I really like this operator play. Like, it makes so much sense.
Gen G saying, no, we think this is still good enough, not really being willing to make pivots in the compositions. That has changed.
The camera and B main to get past the Viper wall. Ooh. Ooh. So it's a DRX strat. It's like a Vision Striker strat. MIBR going for a Vision Striker strat. But the recon's landed on fucking Munchkin's head.
I mean, the only thing you're keeping
That's a replay.
is the Sova and the Omen. So that's really impressive that they've been this well prepared.
Swing reveal on the Munchkin. He's able to stray back. Caron dropping down off the top here, and Market re-swings the corner. Swing reveal on keep it compositions.
Like, just letting a deadlock sit A the entire round with no pressure shouldn't. Like, this is the thing, like, you don't need to, like, I think Bacon was talking about, like, if you're gonna use your Viper shit on attack, like, having nothing on A is weird. But, like, to me, I think as long as you re-clear this line, you should be fine. It's a bit like Haven to me, where, like, you don't want someone to just look into A main. I'd prefer it if this person probably was re-cleared a little bit. And hopefully you re-clear up to here, really. You don't want someone already stood here in any of these spots. But to do that consistently is kind of difficult, I guess, to fully re-clear. But right now, MIBR basically not re-cleared A, so there's 4 this side of the map. And GG.
Has changed.
I mean, the only thing you're keeping is the Sova and the Omen, so that's really impressive that they've been this well prepared.
Big reveal on the Munchkin. He's able to strafe back. Caron dropping down off the top here, and Market re-swings the corner. Then I'm going to be taken down. Texture, second kill. Bethesda hits the floor. The operator staying out.
Goal additions of
Can't do that.
And another big thing, that operator, once it gets into Texture's hands, that's when other teams start to crumble. He is one of the best in the world when it comes to that gun.
Quick little jiggle peek there on the angle. Damage not suffered. 2 Guardians here for the side of MIBR. Rest of the players with Sheriffs. These Guardians, they are weak though. Glass cannon. Caron going on a walkabout, strafing down. He's going to catch Util in hand here. Let's him try to set up for that fault line. Set falls to the wayside. Caron looking for a little bit more. Munchkin going to be taken down. Caron does fall. Verno, some very nice shots. Brings this back to a 3v3. Weapons to be scooped up.
It's weird to do that mid-round push against low buy, but it was fine. Texture just disrespecting, and now they just know they got BP.
Ash going to be called upon again to maybe come up with a huge play to try to shut MIBR out of the round.
Makes noise.
Oh no.
30 seconds
Back
left.
over in towards Boba. The slow creep up seems like he's got a read on this, but is he going to be able to hold the line? Faces forward, finds the first. Ospas answers back. 2v2. Foxy9 still here on the site. Ospas on the peak.
Oh my god.
Shut down. What a shot from Foxy9. The net getting the connection, and Foxy getting the headshot. 6-0.
What a round here for Foxy, a player who had a short stint on the bench for Gen G and has come back with a fire underneath him. He has been incredible. For the second half of stage 1, he has been lighting up Pacific. He's doing a phenomenal job again. I mean, his side anchoring has improved so much this year. He is such a fearsome opponent to try and get through because of that incredible individual skill that he has. And when he can make good decisions on the back of it, Gen G will be in full form and will be a fearsome opponent for anybody in this.
4 ults to work with here on the side of MIBR. As swing around the corner, there's the Hunter's Fury.
I mean,
Trying to dodge these.
I'll be honest with you, Genji just looks like some of these rounds, like Genji are just like kind of winning, like they're a step ahead almost, like not lucky, but they've chosen the setup that works best. But I guess it is logical. Like, I'm impressed with how structured they look.
For anybody in this.
And like they're not doing anything stupid, and like a lot of their decision making makes sense.
Around the corner, there's the Hunter's Fury.
The operator buying this corner, and then like Texture now ooping A, like the re-clears like mid. Like it is like drilled, you know? It's drilled. It's good.
Go ahead and hold them in position. Stems the tide.
It's how every team should be playing. Like why doesn't every team play like this? Every team should play like this, but paper X.
Safely into the back of sight once again, dodging out that stun.
But because of
Real way to
Ospas,
scale. Yeah.
they've completely.
Yeah, I mean I think it's solo. I think it's Coach Solo, honestly.
Is to send Ospas on lure.
You feel like Heretics and MIBR this is rough. Team Look can make it 4th of the group.
To find open space or find flanks.
It's about to find Texture.
This isn't a one-off comp. No, I think we'll see this change to a cipher at some point, but it won't be, I don't think it'll be this tournament.
Walk forward, scoped in, trying to clear out the angle, and Ospas has the headshot. Up now on the floor, MIBR pole position to try to get the first round win. See if Shenham's going to be able to hold down this angle, but Caron almost finds him sleeping. Still trying to flush him out. A bit of a back and forth here. Hunter's burn down.
Sorry.
Ospas, yeah.
They fought A, they overnoted randomly behind. Munchkin gets owned, but it was all a fake for B, but they're faking it into a deadlock. And then, because I fake it into a deadlock, Aspas gets timing on A. They breach ult B, despite the fact that Aspas is literally just here. This is terrible. You don't breach ult in this second. You wait. You wait for this to happen, and then you either come back to A and join Aspas, or you breach ult as Aspas has a timing through. But you probably just go A here.
The tide. I like Genji have a read on Venom's position here at the moment. Finds himself in market. Rolling Thunder going to be coming through. Karon on the TP. Gets himself safely into the back of sight once again, dodging out that stun. But because of way to scale. Yeah.
Do you think it's too anti-stratable? I think that there'll be holes on the map that could be exploited, basically. There are also some reads already. Like I've already said that, like, you know, even at something as simple as the net on the bottom of ramp is a read that they need to be careful about. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I see util at the start of the round, I would try and make like a system out of it and be like, is there... Does this util mean this? Like, what does this util mean? And then quite a lot of the time, teams don't master their stuff very well. Do you like Viper on this map? I do. I do. I think that Viper on every map is good, though. I don't think many teams play it very well, and I think that Genji are doing good with it. Like, they're doing something interesting with it on defense, at least. Their attack usage, I don't think is very good, though. But we'll get to that in a bit. So Verna needs to win a 3v1, right, to even get this fucking...
The whole rest of the team. He's got the same number of kills collectively there.
So what does that net really do? Nothing, right?
Kills collectively there.
It's just information, I guess, which isn't the best way, I think, to use it now. It's weird. It's weird to be in a position to use a deadlock neck to stop something, but then we don't actually use it for anything. If that makes sense. We've thrown a net into a choke point, and we don't have any fight going on around it. I don't really know what they're doing. Refight onto a elbow. It's a cool it's a cool trip.
Changed up the deadlock positioning.
It's a nice refight.
Fantastic shot there from Artsy that saves Oddbots' life. Tucked into the corner.
And that is for info. It refreshes, so they want instant information. Okay, Billy, let me hypothesize for you. What information did we gain from throwing the net that we didn't have anyway? We've seen a Neon Wall, we've seen an Omen TP, and we've heard two people. We're about to hear a flash and a recon. Isn't that enough information to tell you that there are a lot of people at A right now? And now we could just save the net. I wouldn't say that this information was valid. I think that if you're saying about conditioning, maybe you could say something about conditioning, but ultimately, I don't think this composition can ever really do much. The Neon is needed to do anything via conditioning. Like, conditioning is when you use the same net over and over again, and the only thing that we can do behind that is have a Neon run up behind it, I guess, and like be really quick behind it. I would just argue that it's a bad protocol to have, is to throw a net when we know there's 5 people A anyway, and we're not ready to fight off of it. Like, to me, this isn't, you don't condition this round. You shouldn't be conditioning this round. You should literally be saving the net. I don't think it makes any sense to throw it. Yeah, so again, they have given us all the information we need, and now we could save the net and actually use it for, like, say, the reclear or something. If we were ready to fight with the net, if we had people ready, like fighting and we want to throw the net, then cool. But I think it's a pointless net, honestly.
This attack.
Changed up the deadlock positioning.
The other problem is what I said earlier, is that by throwing the net, you are telling the opponent where you are. I mean, on this round is not really relevant, but if Deadlock is here throwing the net a lot and showing where they are, it completely negates the setup they had around this wall in the first place, where the net was going to be used here. So, like, if the Deadlock is throwing this net a lot, then you know that B main is safe. Whereas early game, they were using the Deadlock almost to threaten this B main. So if you do use your early, if you use the net early, then that you kind of give away where you are, which is a bit of a problem. But then a smart team would start to think about those layers, I guess. I don't know. I think it's just I think it's really simple though. I think in this setup it's simple. This player is making an individual mistake by throwing the net. I don't think it's much deeper than that because it's too, it doesn't give us any it doesn't give us information at all, like that we can use. And now we don't have it now. Like imagine if they just continued to run up like quick, like we could have a net. It would be nice. Or even in this moment, like we could throw a net in this corner or something. I mean, the net usage trend here is not amazing, but Munchkin gets the push out, but bruh, that's ballsy. I think Munchkin should be pushing up here early, probably earlier than what he's doing. He's just scared about this cipher, but when it goes quiet and he's going to here, I'm a bit confused. Like the timing is so obviously like he's about to walk into people, in my opinion. Like he either runs into people here and dies, or he doesn't. Like it's not really, it doesn't really make sense to me. Oh my god, Cortesia. That's like watching me play Valorant. That's not though, that's good. They're so scared. Texture's just got so much aura that he's able to just do whatever he wants solo backside. Isn't it baiting out more util from the attackers? I'm happy to go for it more if we want to. It might get boring. What extra util did the attackers use here that they weren't using already? The answer is none. They have this A main take where they wall up, they TP up, they use the recon and flash and go together. None of this util they've not added any util that they needed. They are doing their util as they wanted to. This is a set A elbow take with the Omen Neon. They've not changed their pathing at all. They've not changed their util. All they're doing is taking slightly longer to half a second longer to check this corner together. Nothing's changed.
Karen will be there for the quick trade out now. We got some spam coming his way. Slides in, able to find Artsy, looks for Cortezia, but Karen will be there for the quick trade out now. We go into a 2v2. Both players playing here in main. Smoke down, the TP in. Defuse being started. Overdrive though from Aspas, tearing them asunder.
I mean,
so very low.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Wasn't able to use the. They took a lot of map space off balance, and then find a really nice kill on the Munchkin.
I think Cortesia's middle presence then is something that we need to see more of, I guess. Like, there's no trip, there's no Senti util. Like, everything the Cypher does should be undetected by the Deadlock, really. So I do think Cortesia probably needs to think about how he can use some of these lurks a bit more.
Isn't able to really find those lurks just yet. Now he's got a judge.
Munchkin with the judge again. There's only so many times, like, this is the kind of thing that can be antied, right? Munchkin has played half of these rounds so far with a judge in this corner. Like, he's played like 3 rounds already. So, like, and he played a round here. Like, these are things that once people understand your play pattern, they're going to be like, well, what is your next layer?
See if they read this.
Because this obviously can't.
Away at, on both
sides. This should not be allowed to happen. I mean, it works. It's going to work against MIBR for the first game, but this ain't happening again. Where's Van Silly? Hey, Van Silly. Announcer Van Silly. I think I would be the worst person in the world at your job. You know, I think that Bruce Buffer is possibly the best person. Like, out of anyone at any job in the world, like Bruce Buffer might be like the best. Like his announcing is like, when I watch UFC and it's not Bruce Buffer announcing, it feels not like a real event to me.
Presence still here.
But if I was doing it, it might be the worst event of all time.
From Cortezia is going to have to be absolutely monstrous.
It's been pinged out by Gen G. Oh my god.
Bro, my belly's rumbling. My belly's rumbling. Don't sell yourself short, Minnie. Is Vansilly's accidentally making height jokes at me?
Makes his presence known. Net will not connect.
I don't. Was that on purpose? I don't know if it's on purpose. Billy spotted it already. There's not a chance that Michael Buffer's better than Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer has got. Michael Buffer's got like that traditional energy, but Bruce Buffer. I'd possibly go to war if Bruce Buffer was announcing.
He's just so good at reading his opponents.
Oh yeah, Vansilly get a VIP. That's true.
Ash playing a little bit further back, setting up for the cross.
Nah, bro. I sometimes watch Bruce Buffer. Like if you like the best examples of Bruce Buffer is when you get some really shitty 360p person in the crowd filming all the build up to like the main event, where like it's like Bruce is just in there getting ready, and then like you just see it all from like this from the crowd perspective, and it's unbelievably hype. I used to sometimes watch it before some of our games in Fnatic just to feel something. What sport is this? Bruce Buffer's UFC, but his brother Michael Buffer is the boxing guy. I don't think they realized they were brothers until I've heard the story where like I don't think they knew they were brothers until they were both established in their field though, which is hilarious because they're both obviously in the same field.
For the reinforcements to arrive for Gen G and MIBR seemingly don't feel like they have many other options but to commit to.
Hello, Spicefile. Predictions, guys. I can't give predictions against the like for Paper X. Like I don't know. Like what am I supposed to say?
Value from that operator. There's still an opportunity here for MIBR, but now it's
2-1 Paper X, I guess.
Spike gonna be left on the floor. Slowly swing.
But then I did say I think Heretics would have been favorites in the game, so maybe I should say Gen G should be favorites, but Paper X 2-1.
Further and further, try to gain some line of sight.
Because then I reverse jinx a little bit.
Smoked off this operator. Not likely to find much value at all. Shot turn in from behind, and Bruno unable to find the kills. Then I'm just going to be ping revealed out. Not much else to be
Guessing
done here.
Sunset Lotus nice box.
Ash will flush him out. 8-2, Gen G back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, you just get that operator right back over to Texture. A little bit off on the first one, but the follow-ups were good, giving Zenom the chance to really do much.
I agree with that take a little bit now. I think the problem now for Heretics is that like I built up the game in a way that was like narratively Paper X is the worst team that Heretics could have got. Because you know, we know that Heretics are prone to some confidence issues or instability around like feeling confident or emotions and stuff. And Paper X are obviously not going to let you just settle into a game. And Paper X beat them the last time they played. So like there's a bunch of like factors going into like Heretics maybe performing badly. The problem now though is that they're now 1-0 down and one game away from losing, and that is now huge. That also doesn't help, right? Like it. They've got just as much pressure in the second game, whoever they play. I can't remember who they end up playing, as they do in the first. The best case scenario for Heretics is like a kind of easier. They play Wolves. They should beat Wolves. They should beat Wolves. And if they can do it in a fashion where it's convincing, then it would be helpful. But I don't know.
Let's get them to go ahead back away from the forward angles. Barrier mesh set up to try to cut this off, and just even when the spam out are able to go ahead and clear out one of the sonic sensors.
Look at Karan.
Flush against this trip.
Do you think it's a disadvantage for not being first seed because you don't play for a while? No.
Good paranoia though.
Get them to go ahead
No, not really.
forward angles. Barrier mesh.
It's a disadvantage not being first seed. It's not it's not really, really, really significant, but yeah, it's a disadvantage.
Good paranoia though.
Let's get them to go ahead back away from the forward angles.
This is mental to me. A team that's not playing a Sentinel and we're not having a lurk or a cancel option. It is weird to me. And then Genji are allowed to just flank middle on us. It's
Set up to try to cut this off and just
I guess they just want to go for breach ult and just keep it easy.
Look at Karan.
flush against this tripwire.
The trip.
But they're breach ulting. Okay, they saved the breach ult at least. How are they going to play this though? As soon as this trip breaks, are they going to like push CT with breach ult?
Any real
Why is that breach
moving
planning?
forward, they're just not going to commit this ultimate, so they don't send it out. And now that flank around the back has been noted.
Okay. Genji were in the macro. They were winning macro wise this round. This round, sorry. Apart from the fact that Artsin just kept the breach shot, which was kind of nice. But then they fucked up.
And he will just get shut down. Timing though, Munchkin swings around the back. Ospas found. The time is getting away from them here as Bethesda hits a great shot out from Ali. It's all on Ash the third.
Pretends where to go.
From the shadows, Hunter's Fury one charge away for Verno.
This wall's not bad either.
It's very solid.
It does a similar kind of thing with the B main, where like it still cuts off and makes it kind of annoying. But then it also gives you control over this and allows you to rotate between. And if the attack is pressuring top middle, then it makes it a little bit awkward for them with this top part. I like this wall. What I don't love is that they don't have any B main control here anymore for when they fall back. They have to prioritize their smoke this side of the map a bit more if they lose B main. Yeah.
Tools about to be available. Munchkin though. Viper's pin finally available.
See you in a bit, Billy.
Took a while and see when that comes into play, if at all. We'll just go ahead and
I have 900 viewers. Thank you guys. 900 viewers, quite a lot. Kind of a cool Viper ult idea, I guess.
Finally available.
Deadlock sensor with the Viper ult deep.
See when that comes into play, if at all.
It's a Viper ult setup. Okay, so this wall isn't about the Viper changing the wall. It's literally just a Viper ult setup. So again, I want to see like this is also a little bit of a read, but it's not that big a read, I guess. So if the wall's here and they got Viper ult, they're just gonna set up the Viper ult round. Sensor, it makes sense. Texture fills the gap on B main with the operator. What Genji just play honest, good Valorant, man. Honest, good, structured Valorant. As I say that, Texture's re-peeking 3 times with the operator, but I still think it's true.
Texture just single-handedly trying to hold this down, but Ash does get involved. Finding one, finding a second, looking for the third, runs out of bullets. It's just Cortesia, no corpses to try to play off to try to get.
Yeah, I'm apologizing. I'm not looking at YouTube chat right now because I miss all the subs on this. Nameless Angie? Nameless Angie for the sub. I didn't see that sub for some reason, but thank you very much, Nameless. I didn't catch it. Will I be watch partying PRX vs Genji? Yeah, I will be, yeah. I honestly, I didn't realize it was today. So I'll probably watch it, yeah. I don't know how to do it though. Like, should I... I'm gonna need to take a break at some point. I need to go to the gym and eat some food. How should I do it? Like, do I just... I can't promise that I'll watch this game, but I'll definitely be online for this game. It's not going to be valuable anyway. What's not going to be valuable? What are we talking about? I think I'll just watch Paper X. I'll keep to my commitment. I'm only watching Paper X, so I'll probably. I mean, I'm getting hungry already, so we'll just see how I feel. But I'll probably go off at some point. It's a 2-0, right? I got one more map to watch. I'll watch one more map and then I'll take a break, and I'll be back at some point later. I might watch the first game. No, I shouldn't. Should I? I want more stuff to VOD review tomorrow, so I shouldn't watch live. So I will just watch Paper X.
Certainly hoping that that is true as they go into this pistol, a must win. Otherwise, Gen G will find themselves at double digits. Clear on the recon. Quad push basically out into mid.
I think I watched this in Haven and I'm going. Thank you very much, Billy. What do you think about Liquid's triple control? What do you think about Liquid's triple controller comp on Icebox? I VOD reviewed that yesterday. The TLDR of it is it's crap. Right. So issue number 1 with Gen G is this wall. I do not like this wall. I loved it on the defense. It makes sense on the defense. On the attack, like to use the same wall on your attack as your defense means that something's wrong. Like, when would you ever use the same wall on your attack as your defense? It doesn't make logical sense. What this wall is good at is allowing you to firing a squad B main to control B main. But I don't think you need that to control B main. It also it helps us take B main, which is a part of the map that most teams don't really put that much effort into controlling. So my argument would be that I would prefer either just the standard wall on A or to do something on B that's more like able to let us walk out of B. Like something that probably cuts off this choke and this choke, or even like deeper. Like if you're gonna orb, then you could like do orb and then like cut off something like around here or something. But yeah, I think that if you're gonna wall B, you probably shouldn't wall off B main like this. I think most people would prefer the wall on A, but I don't really have the biggest hot take about it. Like I think that I would probably try walls on B. And I think the wall on A most people would use would be like something like that, I guess, or like something where like it had like no gap on this angle. I think ones where like you kind of stop them from peeking down, but you also allow yourself to walk through is like pretty good. It's the kind of standard. You like the old G2B wall? I don't know what they did. I presume it was something cutting off like here or here. Yeah. Hello, Hadian.
Clear on the recon.
Thank you, Reaper. I'm gonna keep stressing though that I really have like very minimal impact working with Paper X. Like I'm really trying not to take, not because I'm humble, because I'm not humble, but because I'm being honest. Like I'd be very annoyed if I was a Paper X player and people are like giving me credit, because it doesn't, they know it's just a lie. Like it's kind of a lie. I do think there's some stuff I help with though, but I don't think it's the reason why they're just like suddenly looking good or anything, you know what I mean?
Barrier mesh. Difficult to try to clear out when it comes down to these pistols. Immediately gonna start spamming it though, try to work this down as quickly as they can.
How did this pistol go? So just a spread dish default. MIBR walk down middle, catch nothing. They get scared and then just run away. But they do get a frag on the way out. So the Viper finds time. Munchkin finds timing on A, so they group A. Smoker is dead though, so going A with no smoker, they're gonna just use the wall deep short. And it does generally work against no when you don't have a smoke, because and then the net to follow up. Okay. And then because they're 4v5, you see Munchkin getting a little bit more aggressive towards CT, but they decide against it. This deadlock trap's kind of annoying. Okay, they go back for it. It's done. It's kind of done. Munchkin's played very well this round, but it's just kind of dumb. But MIBR, not like.
Anyway, look at that shot card damage, but he found Ash falls down to 11 HP, but still is good, gonna be good for one, and now they know exactly where Verno's at. Revealed by the
Didn't you help their
slide
pistol
in,
rounds?
he's
No.
completely, utterly surrounded.
No.
Now netted, locked on the board.
I think the problem is that I say stuff sometimes and people misinterpret. I said that at the start. I told them that I told them how I would approach pistol rounds to Alex, but I don't think that they probably took it on board.
Ash in particular, the way he's might be
They are.
Yeah. They're feeling the pressure. Be patient.
Their pistol rounds look very good though,
Wary of something.
but I had no impact on their pistol rounds.
They're taking their time to make sure that there's no.
Bro, just ignore 2 crazy Verno shots.
Pistol round that they sent 3
I don't care about crazy shots. I'm not here to watch people shoot their gun.
aggression.
That's boring.
Holding a tight angle with this stinger. Couldn't find any shots to connect though.
Not gonna do much at that distance.
So MIBR forced by. They put the camera in B main. They see a bunch of people. They're gonna rotate over. Now let's see what their hold is like.
Catch him off guard.
Scanning ahead.
I mean,
We've now confirmed that there's
Genji literally just baited out with the Uto. But not great macro from Genji. They're like they're trying to force out B main,
Cam.
but they realize they
Catch him off
can't.
guard.
So they just reset.
Very loose.
But like very little time
Up
left.
their movements here. Texture's just stomping around.
But I mean, they got the spike over this side of the map with 30 seconds left. They kind of need to hurry up.
Paranoia goes across the site. It's not gonna find either of
Don't
these
really
players.
understand what they're doing, to be honest with you.
That kill, man. Ooh, timing potentially picked up. Texture, not gonna be paranoid.
They're a bit lost this round.
Down to 70. Not gonna be scooped up. Foxy's able to find one now. Trades it out.
Foxy wins that.
Spike planted, drone hunting around here from
Bro,
the
this
back.
is just bad.
Here, able to find Gentleman, getting that bulldog right back out of their hands. Texture dead here on the side. Ash across to the opposite side as Munchkin gets the spot out, but cannot get the shots to connect. His hotspots is doing so much damage. Drops to the classic, and he shut.
That was very messy. This is a messy Valorant.
Side, a few share.
I don't think I'd be capping if I was fraud. I think I'd be very concerned.
No way to play off the back of it. So just be removed. Munchkin, but
Not much defender side. A few sheriffs going to be bought up for Genji. Otherwise, not much to speak of.
Net does get the grab there.
Not much to speak of.
It's a nice net. Nice default net. I quite like this. Yeah, I like this.
Net does. get
But
the
they're
grab
not
there.
doing anything with it. But it's a nice net.
No way to play
I
off the
appreciate
back of it,
this.
so just be removed. Munchkin. Quick little peek.
If they open up their rounds using this net a lot, then this wall, like the wall on B makes a lot of sense, if that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense if that makes sense. I'm such an idiot. I need to stop saying that. Because obviously the Viper wall is used on A to scale up A, but you might not need to use it to scale up A if you immediately just win the A fight by deadlock netting here. And then the Viper can play on the B side of the map with the wall, potentially. Maybe even like some kind of like, you could even do like 2-1-2 or like 2-0-3 if you want someone to support the Viper. At the start of the round, just to take B main control, maybe.
Towards the B site, tiny bit of damage suffered.
I guess that is a problem with their comp, is they don't really have the best B main control without Cypher.
Grabs the orb, looks like he's gonna fake back. Camera's still set up here in main.
It really
Now
feels
to be
like,
cleared.
yeah, it really feels like Genji is just trying to bait some responses out of MIBR. Munchkin's trying to get the download on what these defensive
Could
setups are
Genji
look
just
like.
play Raze instead
Trying
of
to
Neon
figure
because
out
of Deadlock
as this
comp?
half goes on, how he can maneuver around it, where he can
I think
spot
the
the weak side.
Raze, I think
'Cause so
both are
far, we
fine.
haven't been able to find
Texture
some
just
help from
prefers
MIBR's
Neon
been
right now, it
hard
feels
to
like, so that's
close to
fine.
the best, so they're gonna
I think
have a tough
Deadlock
execution
pairs
coming
well
through
with
here,
both
but
of those agents, I'd say. Like obviously Nade Net is pretty good, but like Net plus like, fast ability is pretty good too. Net plus speed. Yeah, Neon could follow the net.
The dynamic duo getting involved is guard with the classic. We'll get the shutdown mid-slide.
Annihilation star to really start stepping up. Here goes that 3-man push down mid again. This time though, don't like what they see. Recon there. Texture's just gonna send some shots.
Yeah, I mean, Munchkin is literally having a field day. He's taken B main the first 5 seconds of every round so far.
Genji's gonna
Like, this should not be allowed. But then it's like, what does he do now?
take some mid control, but instead they're still just watching to see what MIBR is gonna do.
What's Cortesia doing?
A recall on the cam there for Cortesia. Doesn't get cleared out.
Why doesn't he just open the cam?
Suspicious, though, seeing the wall.
MIBR is mid control, but instead they're still just watching.
I don't think there's a world in which you should take back cam here rather than just open it up.
A recall on the cam there for Cortesia. Doesn't get cleared out.
Cam broke?
I thought they might consider to take some mid control, but instead they're still just watching to see
No, it didn't. He took it back.
what MIBR is gonna do.
What's your VFL team? I don't have a VFL
Doesn't
team.
get cleared out. Seems suspicious.
Why did he
though.
take it back? Because he took it back because he's baiting a false sense of security for this B main player. So if there is someone B main, they're not going to expect 3 people to walk in. So it baits someone who he probably expects actually someone to be this side, and so if he takes back the camera, this player is more likely to just walk up, and they're about to do a 3-man burst on him. Whereas if he opened the camera, this player is going to be probably more scared to scale up. So it probably is kind of smart to take back the camera there. It's just it looks stupid because Munchkin's already crossed this side.
And gets a very
I would say that it's
solid
like negligible differences, really, but kind of smart thought process, I think. Do you think Genji's comp is playable long term? I think that they will end up probably switching this to a Cypher in the long term.
Gonna have to hit some pretty nasty
But
shots to get out
I
of
think that for the moment, like, the deadlock is getting value, so... And, like, I am actually interested in this attack default where they got the net here. I want to see, like, it play out a bit more. I'm a bit more concerned on defense, though. I mean, there are some gaps on attack, too, that the Cypher can't... Because they don't have a Cypher, like, there are some gaps, I guess, too. They don't have as many options, if that makes sense, for lurking and for cancelling and for like, yeah. I mean, they have a better brute force map control though.
Not letting MIPR build up the momentum here. They get themselves another round win off the back of the bye. Still suffer some heavy.
the texture gets out behind his own 12. Up the United.
Revealing area.
Same dart here from Ash round over round, just trying to make sure that these push.
Revealing area.
Oh, okay. So then that
Just the way
now it's
everything
just
kinda
used.
crumbled there.
Revealing area.
Okay, so they haven't really taken aim with that
Trying to make sure
yet.
that these pushes out into mid aren't coming onto the sites themselves.
Looks like Genji really love B on their Antico,
Sheriff in hand here.
but happy to cancel away from it if they need to.
Kind of an awkward tripwire setup.
I hate that part, but she's about like Texture's about to try and clear this, and then he's gonna have to expose himself to this angle too. And I was really interested here to see what the way in which he clear this. So he chooses to full clear that and then turn his back to, and then he clears this. Okay, that makes sense.
Diagonal.
Like I swear to God, in ranked, if I was to do this
Tripwire setup.
right now, I'd be dead to someone here.
Going for the,
Fucking, but he did it the most efficient way for sure.
Trying to straight back. Texture spawning out Verno. Sends out the relay bolt to try to hold him back. He'll be able to do so successfully.
And you've got a lot of util here on Foxy 9. He can decide where he's going to funnel MIBR into.
This is a nice post plant.
Sets up the barrier mesh at market.
I mean, they got Viper Orb in post and a deadlock. I mean, and Viper ult.
They want them
Yeah.
to have to only go through market now.
I wish this trip was slightly different though. This trip is
It's gonna be
because it's gonna hit the Omen, right?
Knocks off back of sight Boba.
It's a good trip though. It's just it hits the Omen, which is a bit weird,
Already
right?
here from Foxy 9. Slow up the approach. Sends it, catches on the 2.
Yeah, I mean it's
Get the clear. Fault line.
losing B site is bad enough as it is. Losing it against a Viper Orb and deadlock is probably not the not the best.
Paranoia. So as the util gets exchanged, it's still
Oh, he dodges it anyway, so he just essentially just swings before it, which is a bit risky, but
Really dial, open up the site. Cortesia, nothing he can do. Foxy looking really sharp there, catching Oxbox
Oh.
at the end of the slide. Of Masters Toronto with A lot of ults, though, for MIBR.
Well, the last
Masters Toronto win.
Sorry, I'm trying to work. Look,
A lot of ults,
where did he
though,
net?
for
Did he net here again?
MIBR.
well, the last force word.
Oh no, net here. That's interesting. That's kind of cool. So like a punish variation. That's kind of cool.
This one though.
Nice recon, early orb, net here. It's clean. It's a nice strat.
To a rough start.
I like watching Gen G play, honestly.
Gonna be planted here. Less than 20 seconds of the round starting.
I like watching Gen G play Valorant.
Top about to catch Eclipse. Gets the readjust. And I'm gonna be taken down. And that was some of their heaviest hitting weapons available to them as Osman's
I'll be honest, I don't really care what comp you play if you can play Valorant like this.
Hunter's Fury fishing for the rest.
Where it's like you actually have structure.
B4. Ooh, Huntsy's able to find the first. A great headshot there on the texture. Shock dart up and over the top of Foxy 9 on a timing, able to just go ahead, peek in, finds the kill. Look.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Was you missed that round? What they do? I will give you a. They basically immediately orb here, deadlock net here, neon ran. They had a recon that landed on a CCTV camera here, and they had a neon that just ran immediately up to try and punish this. Basically, they probably had more util happening too, but this was the core piece of util. So like they kind of conditioned that like if they were fast going A, it was usually like this way, and so this player is probably gonna be dipping here or here, and either runs into a net or probably dies to a neon, basically. Haven, I actually do want to watch Haven. I know that Gen G have been running this comp for a while, and I did VOD review this comp and noticed some flaws with it. And I'm wondering why they managed to win so easily despite me being able to point out some of the flaws. I do think that Viper in this meta is fucking phenomenal. But I expected it more with the Yoru than with the Neon. Just because this comp lacks some of the flash initiation. But I guess Omen's not, you know, as long as you have the Omen, I guess it's okay on this map. So yeah, I suspect comps like this should start diffing right now. I think comps like this are going to start to diff. I think there's going to be a giga gap. The only thing is I don't love Killjoy either on this map right now. But Killjoy I think pairs quite nicely with the Viper. So I have to think about it like this. My opinion on this I'm not 100% about. So I want to see how are they winning this many on defense with a Killjoy when I think that Killjoy is kind of counterable right now. Alright, MIBR actually countering.
Head on a swivel here for MIBR because they are going to be all over this map on this.
Do you think there's a chance the replay system makes the game less strategic? I don't think so, no. Personally.
Defender side.
The defense wasn't hard with that comp when no, Teo wasn't important for the Euro ISO comp. I think Heretics, honestly, to give Heretics credit, I think if teams who played the Euro ISO started looking at Heretics' defense, they would play it better. I think that a lot of Fnatic protocols were about using this server shock and ISO vulnerable onto A main for A main control. And now that there's only one of those vulnerables and not two of them, it means that using it on A is like probably not the best idea at the start of a round. Whereas Heretics' style has ISO and Euro almost like center map a lot of the time, ready to flood. Or at least the ISO by himself, and then the Euro can do whatever it wants. And I think they've got a better read on how to play the comp on defense. Fnatic haven't been good at defense Haven all year, so I don't think we can look at them as a great example. Again, like last year, our defense was like winning 8 rounds consistently. So I know Sticky once said that like our defense wasn't good last year, but we were winning like 8 rounds a lot. Like we had the worst half we had last year was a six defense round half. Hey, Comet. Who are you named after? They had a really poggers game plan for this. Who did? Who had the good game plan? Genji? This is Epic Pan. We're talking about for drawing on the screen. Okay, just gonna be an asshole so I could just prove it for a second. 9 rounds, 4 out of 3, 7, 5 out of 1, 9-3. 6-6 is the worst half that Fnatic had on their defense before the offseason. Like, I don't think the comp should struggle more on defense, but it's still fine.
Action ready to start. Texture just spamming out some shots here.
They didn't really commit to anything C or half. MIBR didn't catch on. When they did, they did a little orb stack, then posted up there towards the end of half. They just kind of had 3 players available to be garage at any point in the round. Okay. Let's have a look. So, and immediately, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like this turret, and I don't like this wall. I think that I much prefer the loud style of wall on C side of the map. With that being said, it's obviously working very well for Genji and has done for some time, both 2024 and this year. So I can't really be too critical. This turret's shit because you just come here and break it. The problem though is that you can't put the turret here anymore without it being broken because it can't see here and here without being placed like in this corner essentially. So the Killjoy stuff is just it is what it is. Killjoy is just now a bit more shit on the map. The Viper wall, I just don't. I think it's more annoying this wall basically than it is to go through this wall. If the Viper Toxin, you just wait for Viper Toxin to go down and time it and you just exec A. Obviously, the timing of the Toxin means that they can rotate to A quicker. But as long as you're not a stupid team, you should be able to manipulate the Viper Toxin, I feel like.
This defender side.
If anything, it can also help you, if that makes sense. If you've got garage control and you've got A control, and then you force Toxin out of the defense, and you're smart about it, it denies the defense information. The defenders are stood here looking at a Viper wall, being like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, yeah, it can kind of, you can kind of use it against them a little bit too. It's half from Genji Reach of it being an anti from EWC boards. Okay, well, MIBR didn't change things. Yeah, I mean, anyone who doesn't change things from their recent tournament and thinks that no one's watched that recent tournament, they're probably capping. So immediately Texture's pushed off of A line, but they don't panic. They play retake A, which I think is terrible. And so I'm a bit like concerned that like Genji are playing retake A already. I don't really know why. Maybe they had a read on the pistol. Like maybe they know that MIB are gonna do this like fake pistol where they go B. Because they look very ready for a B hit right now. And I mean, maybe they knew that the next layer was then them going garage because they fake A, they get denied B, they go garage. Maybe they know this because they were very ready for this garage trap.
Taken down 2v2, but Texture here a hell of a lot faster than they might have anticipated. Clears a recon and
nobody is changing things on their non-tier maps of Spooky. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Once again, off to a ripping start.
And all it took was just a little bit of resistance at that B site for Osbox to pull off and then go right into the garage. That's been a great position for Foxy9. He doesn't get a kill here, but he's setting up for Karn. Tries to play off the paranoia. This is the full forces of MIBR. It's even trades all around. He takes an off angle, coming out of the link door. And then Texture
Nice shots from Texture.
He's just gonna stick with that.
So this is kind of how this is one of the ways that Heretics were using the Euro ISO too, is they started playing Omen Sova, like the Omen on the A side of the map. Like they would play Cypher, ISO Euro. And I think that makes quite a lot of sense. I think Omen is a little bit underrated, maybe, towards the A side of the map. Able to just be an asshole on sewers. Like even it can get aggressive into sewers and like TP out and stuff. but also use the boxes. Pretty good at holding A, I feel like.
More flexibility as far as how many they can afford to lose on the round. Looks like Texture going to be taking that first contact.
I haven't had to fully think through these things as a coach, but I'm just kind of
Reach out of the
spewing
equation
out my gut reactions about what I'm seeing.
Damage taken from the classic shot, swings in, looks for a little bit
Okay.
more, but gets away
Texture.
from the ends up stunning himself into the corner, and he cannot escape.
Tries to slide out on like 0.25 speed and looks like a noob. Do you think Liquid can still qualify for playoffs? Now with Nats? Yeah, of course. Asking me questions. I am the worst person to ask questions like that because I'm never going to give you like a hot take. Like I'm never going to be like, no, it's impossible. Nats is not able to make it happen. I'm not going to be like, yeah, they're definitely going to do it. Like, I'm too miserable of a content creator. Like, yeah, ask artists that question, and I'm sure the artist will say something funny.
Concerned with his ultimate. You know, especially on this map, Karn likes
But Munchkin not able to find that kill. Let's put him down.
Especially on this map.
It's a nice bait and switch.
But Munchkin not able to
Sorry, let me look in. Let me look in. What's going on? Yeah, so kind of what Comet was saying was C side of the map is completely weak for defense right now. They've got the orb here, but nothing else. It's interesting though because the turret isn't here. So almost in a weird way, my game plan against Gen G would be like to be searching out for this turret, I think. But then I know that the players that I've coached would probably be like, oh, there's no turret here, and probably be tempted to start exploring. And notice that there's nobody doing anything on the C side of the map at all, and then be like, what the fuck's going on? And then at a certain point we're gonna notice the turret here. So they should get red at some point. If MIBR play this right, they should be able to read this. It's not the easiest on Haven to get that read though.
He doesn't seem to be like that.
I think this is very pussy from MIBR. Oh, actually, it's a bonus round from Gen G. So MIBR are just being a bit worried about taking this space because obviously on a bonus round there could be 4 people A. 4A on a bonus round for Gen G might be very valid here. So usually if this was a gun round, I'd say they're being a bit pussy, not just like going out. But on this round specifically, it's an important round where they need to win and they can't let like a 4A trap just catch them, you know? So they're just playing cautious.
He doesn't seem to be like that concerned with his ultimate. You know, especially on this map, Karn likes
Gun barrel spotted. Oh, but Munchkin not able to find that kill. Let's put him down to 20. So Foxy.
So interesting mid. Like this is the kind of shit that you don't see with this comp usually. You probably wouldn't see that often. Alarm bot used just top C long. I don't know why. I guess this turret is not actually seeing C long right now. And then he pulls it back anyway. I don't know what Foxy's doing. I think they just want to go stack towards A. So maybe he just messed up in the second there.
Top of the box, able to spot him out. Paranoia. Further try to slow things up now. Has that smoke cycled in.
But MIBR, I said this when we watched MIBR, right? MIBR were the last team that I've VOD reviewed. They do 1-4 a lot or 5 a lot. And it looks very awkward in moments like this where they don't have the ability to work the map or cancel. They're just playing very simple.
They do have a stack set up. Swing going to be coming through now. It's going to be taken down. Verno, Ospas, however, answering back a couple kills and Texture gets tagged down to 57. Player advantage now here for MIBR.
It's a nice pause there for MIBR, recognizing that Gen G might get aggressive out of that position.
Texture.
Rabia. I might be wrong, but we haven't seen Aspas level performance from Aspas in the past few months. Do you find any strategy issues or just him not being informed? I don't have any idea. I think that there's probably like a lack of trust within the team a little bit. Like if they are struggling right now, like I feel like Aspas is probably the kind of player that needs a lot of like trust and like to like respect his teammates a little bit. And like I'd imagine right now it's probably pretty hard if you're losing to like, especially after losing today, yesterday like they did. Maybe that's an issue. Like Aspas knows he's better than his team, right? Like
basically breaks the round open. Back to Kind of an interesting setup here. Texture over at the front of B with Munchkin.
Oh, sayonara. Sayonara,
Yeah.
you missed it yesterday. There was people in my chat being really mean about you.
Standard wall
You got some haters, bro.
Cross that front of the B site into the A axis as well. As bite combo ready to go here at the door. Swing in though, and Osbot just wins.
They're holding.
Set up there.
Yeah.
Standard wall from Munchkin. Cross that front of the B site into the A axis as well.
I'll be honest with you, I say it a lot. If a team can't fight for A control, I feel like the attack should immediately just take a bit of A control and then do this shenanigans afterwards. I don't see any reason for them to allow an Omen to scale down or a Sova to be allowed to sit on the spot. So I think MIBR are fucking this up a little bit. But the problem is that MIBR are so obsessed with like 4-1ing that they don't really have the toolkit to do some of these more kind of subtle defaults, maybe. Because their strategy is a lot of just like 4-1 with Aspas go kill at the front kind of vibe. It feels like.
That's what you need.
3 damage found, but that's about it. Otherwise, walking away relatively unscathed. MIBR, a solid start to the round.
Ash trying to take some map control. Push pretty far up, but again, MIBR happy to play patiently. Wow. MIBR.
Like, a Sova should not be allowed to scale up here with this composition, in my opinion. Like, this is mental.
Happy to play patiently.
This is bad from MIBR, I think. I don't think MIBR, I feel like the general, like, Sadhack less Aspas teams, fraud teams, they were good at Haven when they played the Viper. But I think since then, like, you can see it sometimes, like Zaisha's here, I would argue that KC were struggling a bit on Haven. I don't think that the Brazilian scene is particularly Haven heavy. I think they really like the Viper comp most. 2022, they weren't bad at Haven. I think since then it was like the Viper comp was really the thing that made them good, in my opinion.
Now going to be taken down.
Since we play Haven, you're crushing it. I look forward to stage 2. Oh yeah, you started playing Phoenix comp, right? You started playing like the Phoenix comp.
Before the ping reveal comes in, eventually find the kill, has to back away. TP's out to safety. Paranoia, Sen. Doesn't quite connect.
30 seconds left.
After try to hold back that
B finish.
access, but Karan
That's a massive kill.
Being rewarded for his aggression, finding Verno.
It was going to be a weird post plant either way because they're all on site. So like Aspas was going to have to do something either way. But now in a 2v3, like he's really forced to actually do something. Kind of desperate to do something. Like if they just wait in these corners, they will lose the round basically.
Timing from Karan is just playing so fearlessly. Gets himself a 3K and it's now down to Aspas to see if he can try to clutch out the round. The defuse already held the half and Ash hits the headshot.
I'll be honest, decision making like this from Aspas is confusing. Like he's been seen on this part of this side, right? So there's no incentive for Munchkin to not just hold full here. Aspas should know that Munchkin's gonna hold full, which means that he needs to path this way. He needs to path this way and kill Munchkin, otherwise he loses the round. But instead he just goes for a play where he will lose the round, basically. To me, that's a very strange decision to make. He shouldn't accept he's lost there. Like that 3v1 is like 10% chance, but there's a 10% chance.
Absolutely just changing rounds in Genji's favor. A good early win for Ash on a trade as well here. That's a huge one right there. On to Zenom. You're really changing that round. You're denying access to the A site. And they have no recourse. Even though that early kill on the Voxy 9 by Oscar. He is made for big stages, it feels like. He is just fearsome.
Oh yeah, so I asked Victoria. I think Victoria would join us for the PaperX co-stream later. So I think Victoria will come.
Spring of the trap there outside of A long. Ash just playing back.
Right there.
Out to safety. 2 Guardians again.
So I'll try and it'll be funny because obviously like I might go into nerd mode sometimes and be a bit like it'll be funny if she just tells me to shut the fuck up.
And Gen G respecting this eco, they're giving up.
Yeah, Alex's girlfriend. Well, the real answer is the host for APAC. I think saying
this could be an A hit.
it's
A bit of
Victoria is Alex's. Wait, we should flip that, right? Shouldn't we be like hashtag feminist here and flip that round? She won't. She loves one another's flame. She said that it was good that I didn't have her for like the Heretics game because she would have been flaming Heretics so hard and EMEA so hard. But I was like, bro, like I accept it. Like EMEA is shit. I don't care. Like why do you think that would bother me? Exactly. Alex is Victoria's boyfriend. That's it. Exactly. No, Victoria is like I can't. My brain hurts. My brain hurts.
The last player we want to see in this situation.
Wait out the wall. Cycle of smoke. The plant can be stuck. No way to interrupt this.
Alex is Victoria's boyfriend. Alex is Victoria's boyfriend.
Texture starts scaling forward, and Foxy 9 still ever present over on that C link. Was away with the kill onto the enemy breach.
Or they're roommates. I don't know. Maybe they're roommates. Maybe they're a roommate situation. I don't know.
They're just in cruise control. At every twist and turn, they're just making phenomenal decisions. Here on this entry, Oxbox trying to create some space, just gets shut right down. Foxy 9 with timing on the counter lurk. Texture is trying to clear that space, make sure they can get this defuse safely. Nice to go. He's just always having fun.
Always having a good time. Timeout call can be used here by MIBR.
Been aware. You here is truly the
Okay, we log back in. We log back in. Viper server A.
Triple stack on this C site for the line share.
So now they shift. Maybe this is what Combat's talking about how nothing C, nothing C, nothing C, timeout C. This to me doesn't strike me as a game plan though. This just strikes me as well, kind of game plan, but it's more like, oh, we didn't play C at the start of the game. They took a timeout. Yeah, probably worth playing some people C. And they got Killjoy ult. Like, it all just makes sense. Like, they got Killjoy ult to retake A. If they do lose A, I'll be honest with you, dog shit from MIBR. Dog shit. Like, how are we allowing a Viper or a Sova to walk up onto an A line without a breach comp? Like, what can this comp do to take this A line? All they do is they can only walk up. Like, this is some pretty bad Valorant from MIBR, I'm not gonna lie. I do not like how they've played against this comp.
It's just been that kind of day for MIBR. That's just...
Why does Foxy put his turret so close to C long? Because it sees here, into garage, as well as it sees here. If he puts it further back, then it doesn't see into garage. They want to know if someone is here. The old school way of doing this turret would be you put it here, and it would look garage and look a little bit C-long. But it means that I don't know why people don't like that one as much anymore. I think it's just as valid, if not more valid. I think it's because teams are so bad at breaking this turret that it's just become meta because teams are so bad. Like, somehow some teams have regressed to allowing this turret to exist for some reason. I'll be honest, that's kind of an accidental shot from Texture. Let's be real. That didn't seem fully intentional. Yeah, people can walk up C long with this turret, but you can also spot them. Like, you don't, and like, you shouldn't need a turret to tell you there's people C long necessarily, if that makes sense. It's to me it's more of a gimmick. I'll be honest. I don't think it's as consistent. I think it's more of a gimmick. Oh, for fuck's sake, boys.
Cage pop, Munchkin looking.
Bro, Genji, they get away with this shit constantly. This happened when I was watching their games in APAC, man. For some reason, they're allowed to walk up A long, and then they're allowed to play around this, and they're allowed to kill people re-clearing them. I don't get it. I don't get it, personally. This is like one of those things where it's like, I just don't get it. I don't know.
Munchkin just so clean with the reposition.
It's unbelievable. The game sense he has. It's off the charts.
It's a good timing play, though. No. Okay. I'm gonna like. Okay. Anytime that I feel like I've made my point extremely clear, and then someone still is like confused, I have to break it down, bro. This composition on the defense cannot get into these positions without taking a massive timing. But it's a timing that they should never be allowed to get. They should never be allowed to be. You should never be able to stand here and walk to this position and feel like that's a sane play to make. You should never be able to make that play. The reason they're able to make that play is because MIBR are making so much noise on this side of the map that they're just like, fuck it, we ball, we go up. And then the Cypher's not putting enough pressure on to actually deny this play. Counterpoint, they shouldn't even be in a position where they can make this play in the first place because MIBR should just deny the lines at the start of the round and then leave a person or two here. And sometimes not leave people and just leave loads of people. And then there's a game of like these two players can never really make these plays because they could just be walking into 3 people. Or they're walking into a person who has a better angle on them. So, yeah. Like, if you take this and then do this, this player walking up here should just be dead or making the biggest mistake of their lives. Whereas instead, MIBR starting rounds over here. This player's walking up. Chill. It happened in their game versus our Q2. They're getting away with murder. Like, honestly, it's murder.
Spike is still being ushered
30
forward
seconds
over
left.
towards his A site one. Ash now notes him, takes him down to 50. TP forward, both players now arriving.
If I thought that like I could give my players a protocol to walk up there by themselves, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like the only player that's ever done it on my team would have been probably Alpha on ISO. And he's ISO. You know what I mean? Like it makes more valid sense.
And now you've got every ult available.
They have to play the same comp for over a year. Yeah, I know they like this comp.
Oh my goodness.
That is just so damn unlucky.
This is just...
Like this, a smart play. Textures kill, hero blind block. Still able to scrape together a bit of Bus with the knives, looking to see if he can try to find some solid impact. There's no one on the C site. Util, yes, but players, no. Hannah's going out.
Genji's playing retake the whole way.
That they are, and the lockdown comes through nice and early. Hunter's Fury, though, is available. Go ahead and clear this out. Dueling Hunter's Furies now come through. We're just going to see ults invested across. Go ahead and clear the R. There's no one to scrape together a bit.
Now an A main push, full A main push.
Solid impact. There's no one on the C site.
The only problem with this A main push, so we're in a round with lots of ults. The thing I don't like about this A main push is that neither Verno or Artsin should use their ults here to take the site. Like the recon isn't going to get broken, and the drone shouldn't get any contact, so they don't use any ults. So now they have both these ults for the post. What I do like is this flank from defense. Server ult used to break the Killjoy ult, which is valid. And then the breach. This is a nice reaction. But then the reaction also from Munchkin's very good too with the spit. So to be honest with you, both teams playing extremely well this round in terms of like ult theory. And now because there is a flank, they want to push into CT. I wonder if I don't know which I prefer, CT or Garage. I think I prefer CT in these situations. Like to be honest with you, this is if you gave me this round of Valorant in this game, I would tell you that this was a world-class game of Valorant. Up until this point, it hasn't been world-class at all, but this is a world-class Valorant round. Up until this point. Up until Ash just sitting in the corner killing 5 people. Why? Bro, Artsin doesn't know how to peek, and Cortesia is being a bit stupid here too. Even Aspas, I think, probably didn't peek properly there. He's jumped onto this angle here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he should be jumping out wide, not jumping to this angle. This player here should be wide right now. He goes a little bit wide, to be fair, and then Ash does a nice reposition. So it's a bit unlucky from Cortesia. Artsin, though, this is not forgivable. Artsin takes a jiggle peek and then backs away and then goes back in and probably lines up. Like, it's terrible, honestly. Like, the Artsin's peek is so bad. This is so bad. I guess it's because Cortesia died so quickly. But yeah, it's a lot of just like no one's going wide, basically. It's just so bad. Someone just go fucking wide. Like, someone literally just wide swing and don't even shoot your gun. Like, just do the pop and swing. Oxy compared Verno's playstyle to Leo yesterday. I think it's just an easy comparison to make because they're good players, but I don't watch players enough to know what they're playing like, to be honest with you. I think that Verno probably, if he's mid-rounding and supporting and stuff, like with comms or whatever, then you could probably compare them. I think if you genuinely asked Leo his opinion on that, though, he'd probably laugh. I think Leo would probably have something to say about that.
Still a pit, still from the shadows available here for Gen G.
I've asked Leo before about opinions of some of the best Sova players before, and I remember him saying, I'm not going to say who, but his response was like, yeah, they're good at shooting their gun, but they don't use their util very well.
Texture on top of the box. Scratches his eye. And then says, oh, hello. Peeks in, finds one. Doing well to get the one tap. Put the neon on the floor, swings through the wall though. Top of the game. Texture on top of the box. Scratches his eye.
Just an eco round, hero gun kind of idea. It's a nice idea from MIBR. But ultimately not going to go anywhere.
That's the weaponry on the floor. We'll push up, start about the fly through. Ash will immediately.
I asked Leo in 2023.
Verno's position. Okay, no. Doesn't get cleared, but Munchkin just
And it was mostly about European server players.
7-1.
Keep going like this. I mean, you're losing Aspas so often. Texture continues to just dominate.
And he wasn't referring about Rians. I'm not sure, but I don't think I was asking about Rians.
Oh, so scary for any opponent.
Derka. You mean Derka Sova? Derka actually had good util usage. For someone who didn't play Sova, his util usage was good. In his trials, he actually understood how to do I know this is basic, but in 2021, having someone who actually understood the info cycle on A, with like this drone and like this drone, like Derka understood that as a player in 2021, which is kind of impressive. He obviously was probably shooting people though, obviously.
And immediately they look to reposition, but we know how quickly Texture can pivot with that operator. And he's already starting to reroute.
Guys, there's a problem. There's a problem, guys. What's the problem, everyone? Guys, tell me what MIBR are doing wrong. There's a problem. No, the problem is they're conceding A main control every round against a comp that cannot fight for A main. Every round. I'm so bored. Like, this VOD is over.
Where things get
It's
oh so
GG.
scary for any opponent.
It's literally
First of
GG.
all,
Spike down. C.
They're also going where they're showing. That's also true.
things get
They're like, oh, we've reconned A main. Oh, there is nobody A main. They must be C. Oh, look, they're C. Like, it's too, oh, it's so boring.
so scary for any opponent.
They are also going where they're showing.
Here's the first to fall.
Spike down. C.
But they were going, they were going for the massed split, guys. Another mass split round to add to the arsenal. Probably not the best example of all time, but we're adding it to the fucking thing. I've got a bunch of shit open. Where's my notepad? What have we got so far? Split, SEN, split, attack, MIBR, Haven, attack, C split. Okay. It's being added to the list. Probably not the best example of all time, but
And this is where things get
that was their attempt this round.
Here's the first to fall.
They were using this pressure on C long to go behind Garage, but they cancelled it because they're pussies. And then they just go into a Garage default.
The cam will force a reposition from Boxy 9.
Inferno has to solo clear A main, and he's got a drone but isn't using it.
The side of Charon. We'll see if it comes to fruition.
Leo would never. Leo would never.
Absolutely does. Inferno's not ready for it. Texture
You think Leo's walking into A main there, bro?
And MIBR, I think
Absolutely fucking not.
If they can.
Last player standing.
This is just spots now. Left the line. And not very long. Around the back. Boxy 9 gets the back stab, and it's flawless. You have to suspect that second final.
WWLD.
I agree.
WWLD.
Just,
That's how I play my server.
if you try to
I
go
need to
one
stop
side
playing
of
like
the
server
map,
like this
pushing on
actually,
another.
because it doesn't
They're
make sense in
always
ranked.
taking
You don't do
space.
this in
It's
ranked.
so hard for MIBR.
You don't do that in
They're gonna
ranked.
put Foxy 9, kill and get out. So
Because then
many
your teammates get
people.
annoyed. I end up playing too passive, and that's probably not what Leo would do in ranked. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my god.
This is a change up from his usual, which is spamming into window.
Yes. He's a step ahead again.
I didn't realize there was
According to their
paper
plans.
on that part of the wall.
Set up for texture. Relay bolt will come through fast lane. He's gonna fake it
Oh look, now they go A main, and there's 5 A main.
Recon. Gonna be Ash.
Oh, honestly, I think we had better strats in our in the side in the slugfest so much.
Possible target.
Honestly,
Spike down. A.
I think Doncaster Durka would have him.
And MIBR cannot
Doncaster
catch
Durka
a
would have
break.
him right now.
I mean, they just knew what that timeout was going to be about for MIBR. It was about A main control.
Doncaster
They knew
Durka.
they had to start taking some of that space to prevent
And to be fair, we'd have a better
Gen G
comp
was
too,
taking.
because Mitch would be on Viper.
Gen G's just
So
ahead
like
of
our
her.
comp would be
They're reading
better.
their opponents just
Doncaster
brilliantly.
Durka's fucking sending it.
And what are you meant to do?
Good luck.
What's a nice recon?
And what are you meant to do?
Is it a nice recon? It's not. I do like the innovation, like it's a slight innovation where like teams are now having to recon like this space a little bit more. Because obviously drone used to be able to go all the way up here to fucking clear the whole map out essentially. Whereas nowadays the drone stops like probably here. Or maybe just here. So the recon's being used nowadays to kind of get control at least one side of the split. And then the recon's not exactly the best to anti-exec. It's not bad as anti-exec, but I think it's more valuable just to get like a bit of a sense for what's going on. If this wasn't broken, you should be able to get the line back, basically. Especially if you've droned sewers too. But I don't like that lineup. It looks cool and cute on paper, but I don't like it because obviously if you recon here, it looks like you shouldn't get information. I can't see where I can't see the recon is. Maybe it's high up and actually gets everything here. But it is just as good just to throw it here, probably. I guess, actually, I don't know. I want to see what that fucking... Get me the replay system.
Gen G taking that time.
Why is there no replay system?
I mean, they just knew.
I'm telling you, if in Fnatic we did a recon lineup here in the middle of the round, the observers would be on it like
They knew they
nobody's
had to start
business.
taking some of that space to
That's what like all of our lineups were
curves
just
that Gen G was
exposed.
taking, and Gen G's just ahead of the curve. They're good luck.
I don't know where it is.
Try Pete
It's
back.
high. Wait,
And what are you meant to do?
it looked like it missed even.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's too high, right?
Try Pete back into an operator.
I mean, your only hope here is that Foxy9 makes
Get
a
me the
mistake,
owl system.
and you can win that battle.
Wasn't replay? Wait. Bear, do you know? Do you know? In Overwatch, when teams scrimmed in Overwatch, could you watch back the scrim with the other person's point of view? Like, could you? Is there a fog of war basically? Like, could you see? Yes. If that happens in this game, then I stop. Then I go to Counter-Strike basically. If that happens in this game, I'm gonna go to Counter-Strike. That's not a very good system. In scrims, you don't know. Okay, in competitive matches, yeah, no, I agree. If in scrims there's not a fog of war, then it's the only instance in which I would argue against a replay system, because that's egregiously bad for competitive integrity. If it's officials, I don't give a fuck. Like, I think it's fine for officials. For scrims, that is very bad though. You essentially just leak everything every scrim, which is terrible.
Haven't had to use many ults. Can't do anything. Just brilliant.
He knows that
Wait.
that's a safe number.
It is his safety.
Oh god, you're 9-1 down. You're trying the Omen TP from 2021. Ooh, ooh. This is I like this. The little bait and switch, like this turret is just enough distraction for these idiots in garage to be like, oh my god, a bright shiny turret, and then bang, textures in your face, just open you.
Well, TP into the back is very much red. Munchkin. Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Finds the body shot, pops
Bro,
up.
look at him. Look at him. He's not even trying, is he? Look. He's just lazy. He's just like, yeah, this is easy. I'm not even gonna aim at you.
Takes down Aspas here in range.
I guess I'll aim at you a little bit more, accent. Like, he didn't even aim at Aspas at all. He was just like, this guy's...
In with a shout.
I'm just better than this guy. Oh, I'll just run into Verona. Who cares?
On the stage after he
Oh, I'm
died.
sure we're
Yeah, this is ugly.
Me.
highlight reel.
This is ugly.
He is
6 touching texture clip farm.
very
Making
much
a
so.
highlight reel.
He is.
16 and 6 at the moment.
They're gonna try to go through garage again.
Or maybe that smoke wasn't this guy's split. It was more just part of... Nah, I don't know.
Further
I don't
back,
care.
smoke there.
I'm not going to include it in any
Force him out of
content
that
or anything, so
position.
it's fine. Texture, 10-1 up.
Contain his Munchkin
This
here.
is the kind of shit you do when you're 10-1 up.
Corner. Foxy gonna rely
You
on
just
util, and
disrespect your
Texas
opponent.
Clearing out C-main.
Having the
Clearing out C-main.
And this is the kind of shit you do when you're 10-1 up, is you solo swing Garage into Aspas, and for some reason Aspas doesn't kill you,
It's a bit messy, but he's
because
still
Aspas is 10-1 down.
Aspas down low. Has to evacuate. And Munchkin
Oh
just
god,
continues
imagine
to
being 10-1 down, and
having the
the IGL of the opposing team is literally just running into tiny choke points against you, you're whiffing,
having the
you jump away, and then he just shoots you through a wall.
Headshot through the wall. Aspas down low.
Like,
Has to evacuate.
it's gotta feel pretty bad.
Munchkin just continues to spray away. Finds him in the end.
I mean, MIBR.
is not gonna
Oh,
cover the
interesting
front
Vipro actually.
Trying to set up.
I kind of like it. It's kind of terrible, but it's also kind of cool. Viper ults on this map are kind of weird, because you can't... Like, if you ult C long, it doesn't feel like you're getting value. If you ult B, who cares about B? If you ult A, you end up having to have a player watching long anyway. And so a lot of teams ended up just like going long A a lot. I think the short one is the best one though. But this is kind of cool because it's like it makes the retake possible on A. Because retaking A is shit. Because obviously tiny choke point to your death. tiny choke point to your death. So like obviously you got angles to come out of and clear, so it's kind of cool idea.
A way to give themselves access to the site is what it looks like.
I didn't say
So,
anything
it's
useful.
gonna have to be cleared out. Spike's still being
What?
brought around to bear.
You're sad you missed a sunset VOD?
So they try to get the breach in position here to try to prevent
TLDR of sunset
Hunter's Fury looking
is that
narrowly missing.
Genji,
Unable to get those tags.
MIBR probably like MIBR just look bad. They crumbled against knowing how to play against the Viper wall, I think. They lost 4-0 early in kind of like bullshit momentum, looking bad kind of way. Attack side Genji's Viper wall was terrible, I think. I think Genji got value from Deadlock in a way that they wouldn't get value in like a couple games kind of time. There are holes in Genji's sunset. Oh my god, it's Yinsu and Shocks.
From how the pros train to how the money flow. Ready to
Get that MasterCard money.
Tremendous effort. Texture was
Bro, I still...
75, Ash 89. I mean,
The econ report.
teammates are grabbing it back.
Oh my god, graph. Well, this makes texture look really noob, doesn't it? I don't know how this works, but what a noob. This is implying noobiness, but I'm too stupid, and I know that it's not. This is probably okay. Fucking noob. But he's not being noob.
Play.
This is a bad graph.
Absolute favorite most teams on Haven.
Captain Cow was losing his mind at this. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's the seat? What is this? Oh, you guys are drawing the graph. Oh, okay. I thought you were calling me a loser or something.
Have a gargantuan task ahead of them. They have not been able to find a pistol round win.
I'm gold elo. We wouldn't plant on a site with a Viper ult. Is it good or bad? In gold elo, we wouldn't.
Yet,
I mean,
this needs to be the one.
generally speaking, this kind of looks like a gold elo Viper ult, to be fair, doesn't it? Doesn't that look kind of like a gold elo Viper ult? Where the fuck is it? It looks like a gold elo Viper ult, but secretly it's not. Honestly, it's probably best to not go to sites where there's a Viper ult. But if the Viper ult is covering the back of the site, you're fine. But if it's like obviously in the front of the site, then don't fucking run through it, you noob. You gold noob, come into my chat asking questions about gold newbie questions and answers and
Try to play off that toxic screen. It's always going to cut some sewers into that's very happy to work the map a bit. Try to play off that toxic screen.
the one thing I do find funniest about Valorant in the League of Legends is whenever you show gameplay of like, say, if I showed you like gold gameplay, no, like let's say it's Immortal gameplay, but it's kind of like funny bad, or like just like mediocre Immortal gameplay. Like everyone's always like, oh, my lobby's so much harder than this. It's like everyone has that like cognitive bias that like their lobbies are somehow harder than the lobbies of like the lobbies you show. Like I think when we did the show match, everyone was like, there's a few people like doing that reaction, and it's just like, yeah, but your lobbies are also terrible, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real.
Already ready to go.
That's true. Bacon is terrible.
Genji doesn't like that.
What do I think MIBR's main issue is on their attack, they're only comfortable doing 4-1s or 5-0s, and they don't have enough structure, I don't think. I think that Fraud... I would be surprised if Fraud was happy with the way that they're approaching the game. I think that I have enough respect, and I think that Fraud's a smart enough coach to know that like there's probably more layers that could be added to some of these rounds, but he's probably having troubles implementing or something. Yeah, I think it's too simple. And then even when it is simple, it's like not looking good simple sometimes. But then at the same time, Genji could be just fucking them up, and in the next game they look good. I don't know. But it looks a bit, for my liking, a little bit too simple on the attack. And if you compare and contrast Genji, every round from Genji is looking like there's a reason for it. There's looking like good setups and like an actual playbook that's being developed and fleshed out, and like rounds that make a lot more sense. Like Genji are playing how an EMEA team should be playing, basically. but how a lot of EMEA teams don't play.
That's always gonna cut some sewers in towards B. Clear the turn
1.2k
there by
viewers. Oh yeah, thank you guys. Like genuinely, I think about 6 months ago I probably have like 200 viewers right now. So I really do appreciate people watching the stream.
MIBR, they're accounted for Gen G. Tap of the orb. No response just yet from MIBR.
4 players nearby.
Didn't understand what you said about the replay system from War. Isn't it the same as CS where you can spectate anyone? So what I'm trying to explain is that in Counter-Strike, so sorry for the segue, we are about to finish anyway, but in Counter-Strike, when you play scrims, well, until recently, I know I have friends in Counter-Strike who told me there's a bug recently that's fucked it all up. But basically, historically, in Counter-Strike, when you would play a scrim, you would record the scrim in the Go TV or in your demo. What you would, I think you would turn Go TV off, sorry, and you would record like personal demos. And so you'd only get your POVs. You wouldn't be able to use the opponent's POV. You would just use the POVs you had as if you were like streaming or, recording yourself play. Whereas if you were to use the replay system, which you would turn off during scrims, you could be able to see the opponent's reactions too, right? Which is unfair, in my opinion. It's very bad for competitive integrity if we're playing scrim environments where you can just see the opponent's scrims. Like if I scrim, if tomorrow I'm coach, let's say I'm the coach of Fnatic back in the Gambit era, and I'm like, fuck it, let's play Gambit. And then all I would do is troll my scrim and try and figure out what Gambit are doing in their scrim against us, and then copy all their stuff. And why would I have any incentive to play a scrim correctly against good teams? The other issue is that it almost incentivizes dodgy scrim sharing stuff more too, where it's like if I'm playing against like a tier 2 or tier 3 team and they can just immediately see everything we do, like they can just leak that, which is an issue too. Like there's some like genuine competitive integrity concerns around like the unethical nature of it, but also just the ethical nature, where it's like if two teams go in knowing they're not going to like leak or anything, and they just play each other, what's the incentive for us to show our best stuff against that team? In CS, the difference is they turn replays off. I think the Go TV gets turned off, but they record their own personal demos. They record their point of view using the demo system. They use demos, But you guys are getting confused. So now Duke is saying you can now watch Zyru demos on his channel. You can watch Zyru demos, but you're not going to be able to watch Zyru's scrim demos. There's not a fucking chance in France that Vitality are letting Zyru release his scrim demos. So this is just for scrims. For then professional play in CS, of course they have the replay system. They have the demos available, and the demos that will be available from the replay system are ones in which you can see everything. You can look at every single POV and see what they're doing, which makes sense because it's who cares about it? You're playing. We can see everything anyway from the fucking minimap. It doesn't really matter. Thank you very much, Dude Kev, for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anyway, like again, what's the big difference then? Okay, I don't know how to explain it any clearer. If imagine you play a ranked game of Valorant and pretend that's your scrim, and then you click record on OBS and you record yourself. That is what the demo should do for a scrim environment, is literally just record your own POV. The problem is that if a replay system records everyone, you could get that demo and then watch the opponent's reactions and watch their POV. I do not want a replay system to allow people in scrim environments to watch the opponent that you're playing against. I don't want in a scrim for you to be able to see this minimap like this and then click on Artsin right now and know he's about to stun. Like that should not be allowed from a scrim. Like, okay, I've explained it well enough, I hope.
Ready to go.
That got cleared fast. Yeah.
Chat is not rage baiting. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Some people don't get a concept straight away, and some people are just slightly slow. But I think it's mostly just about some people not understanding it straight away.
Should have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be a player in sewers because Munchkin loves the player.
But it's good. It's good. The more you condition me to explain things as simply as possible, as decisively as possible, means that I get better at my job. So I don't mind it, but you have to tell me sometimes if I have explained it well enough and you do think that people are just being a bit silly. You're one of the slow ones. Exactly. It means that I'm not doing my job well enough. If I have to explain it that many times and almost get angry, then I've not done my job well enough. Okay, so okay, let's talk about this a little bit. So this is one of the reasons why Viper's so good on this map. Is this Viper wall? I think it's the wall. Who made this wall? Comment. It might be in the chat. Might remember a tier 2. UCAM. Was it GoCat or who was it? Who was it? Koi 2022. Who? Aska? Was it Aska? It wasn't the guard. Fuck off. Why are people saying the guard? Like, get a grip. Like, I give Josh RT credit as much as, like, anyone could give credit to someone. But I'm pretty sure it is Koi. And who was that? Or UCAM or Koi? I don't know. Who was the coach that people give credit for in EMEA? Was it Aska? Aska? Okay. So Aska. Who does Aska currently coach? Is it GX? It's GC? Okay. Okay. I still got ball knowledge. I still got some ball knowledge. So this wall is very strong, right? So the idea is you remember earlier I was talking about like A main control. This wall basically allows you to always take A main control whenever you want it. You can go start a round and take A main control, or you can fuck around and take A main control just with the Viper. You also can do what Werner was trying to do earlier and walk into A main a lot more safe, because the wall is there and you can walk in and clear all the angles. So it's just a very good wall. It's probably not as good a wall against teams playing how Genji did. Like I was saying earlier about like we don't want people walking up here and here. Actually, I take that back. I take that back completely. It also denies the way Genji were playing their defense. Because imagine you're Genji and you want to walk up here. You're walking up, you're just looking at a wall again. Good luck, mate. So this wall is just very good against the styles that want to take A main. So like if they try and insert deep with like the breach, it denies it because you're stood behind a fucking Viper wall, and it allows you to take A main whenever you want it. So this is extremely strong. This might be like the biggest comp diff on the map right now is this Viper wall. It's like that levels, I think. Like I think we're looking at a situation right now on this map where this wall might be enough for me to say that like any team with Viper in is just diffing most other teams. There might be some comps that might be good, but like I think this Viper wall is one of the reasons why like there's such a fucking comp diff on this map right now.
That got cleared fast. Yeah. Genji doesn't like that.
Yeah, so basically like the players on A, so to just go into it slightly deeper, because we have quite a few viewers and like I do usually explain these things and feel like I'm repeating myself, but I think that it's worth just repeating myself from previous streams. So like obviously information wise, usually you would just leave someone here, right? And get information, but there's a fucking Viper wall here. They can go past you. So at all points in the round, so you could either be here as a jet or here as a jet or so or whatever. Look here. Oh, look, there's nothing there. Oh, look, there's nothing there. But in this instance, there's a Viper wall here, which means that you can't get information of what's happening behind this wall, right? And it's really important because it happens on 2 choke points, right? So what it means is that if you're on defense, you're either going to be risking one angle, knowing that they could come up the other angle, like this, or like this. And you just have to accept that risk, and maybe the team just XX when you're just like down by yourself. Or you end up having to play 2 people A, because you need one person watching here and one person watching here. And so it's a really difficult thing to play around. Like, it's really difficult to play around. Like, you either have to gamble or you have to play 2 people there. And it's a really difficult decision to make.
There's just too much going on over there.
There have been some fancy ways people tried to counter it with, like,
But MIBR is gonna
leaving Sentinel util deep and stuff, but, like, genuinely, generally, I wouldn't say there's a very easy counter to this wall.
have a sneaking suspicion that
How did Fnatic beat this wall with the Euro ISO comp last year? We had so I guess we could. That's actually a very good question, because I was actually going to talk about that a little bit, about how the idea of like what kind of thing we could do on defense. So what we did is we basically abused middle. We abused middle on defense. We accepted that we were not going to be able to control this part of the map, so we used our energy around this part of the map, and then we're able to create, you know, flank opportunities if we wanted them, but also had enough time to then flood also back to A if we needed to. Because ultimately, they've drawn their battle line to a point where we can't contest deep A main. So as long as we're back to A in time for like the fight in like this space, we're fine. And in the meantime, instead of fucking around down here, we just fucked around down here. And luckily, Durka just killed Leaf every single round, basically. So yeah. Change it to sub mode so you farm prime subs and new subs. Polar Sliggy. I'm actually a much better person than Sliggy, and I don't actually do things like that. So instead, what you do is you should sub to me if you want to, because I'm such an amazing human. And I'm definitely not saying this because I'm guilt tripping you into, like, you know, doing any actions. But yeah.
There's just too much going on over there.
No, genuinely, I think the way I see it, honestly, like, to be completely upfront and honest, like, I would start playing shady tactics with you guys if I needed the money right now. But at this very second, I don't need the money. So I appreciate you guys if you do sub, and I really do appreciate it, because it does mean that, like, next year I could consider this as like one of the things that I could do. So thank you, Hedgie, for the sub. Gifted to Kadrum too. But ultimately, at this very second, I'm kind of like doing okay. So I'm not like in desperate mode to, you know. It'd be really nice to build up the stream, but I'd prefer to just. I'm not too stressed, you know. I'm not too stressed. I'm not richer than Sliggy. That's not. Come on. I'm not richer than Sliggy. Come on. I've seen those Oilers in this chat, man. That motherfucker's got 5K viewers and Oilers. Chat does not know. No. Chat does not know. Hype train. Nice, guys. Miyugio. How do I say your name? Mayugio. Mayugio? You're now Mayugio. Thank you very much for subbing to such a nice human being. Thank you, RK2K. Look, all I did is guilt trip you guys. I pretended I'm nice and don't need your money, but secretly I'm desperate. And I just pretended to have moral high ground. I played you like a fucking book. I played you. 2018 Widowmaker Munchkin was Munchkin actually a Widowmaker? I'm sorry, I've watched this round like 100 times. So Munchkin got up close because of that timing. And you see how this works, yeah. Oh god, okay. Leo would never. Yeah. I mean, it all was off of the back of Munchkin's wall, to be fair, though, right? Like, even though Munchkin had to do a fucking 180-degree Matrix Widowmaker flick shot, he ultimately was unable to make that play from the Viper wall, right? So I think at least that kind of shows the value, even if he did have to. Oh, thank you very much, Borp. Borp16, thank you. That goes to Evelyn, Exvalius, By Cheeks, Clyde, and Garn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. I sincerely appreciate it. Yeah, WWLD. WWLD. Wouldn't be that. Would not be that.
incredible. Who are new to the international stage.
Oh,
So MIBR, I mean, a young team, a lot of players who are new to the international stage.
fair enough.
Rude awakening. Textures has got the opener again.
And then MIBR, it's 12-1. You've lost, mate.
Given no
You've lost.
opportunity,
It's
no
over.
chance for recourse for response.
It's over.
Gen.G are completely and utterly in control and have been this.
And maybe some quick rotation.
Going back C long as well. I like the mid round. I don't know why. I feel like going C long here to the C split feels nice. It's like a nice cheeky.
You know, worried about maybe some.
It
quick
just feels like
rotation
right.
from
It feels
MIBR.
right, and I don't know why.
Try to try something a little different. And just three-man push this corner. Cortezia on the corner of the Sheriff.
Drone gonna look to try to force it back. Does get spotted out. Takes a tiny bit of damage there through the box. Spotted once
Which
again.
league do you compete in again,
They really want to flush this sucker
Bacon?
out of the sight.
What league is Team Liquid Academy in?
Finds the headshot. As
Thank you, Natsa. Thank you very much for the sub. Northeast.
from the shock dart.
That makes sense. Yeah, I thought as much. Yeah.
Karen comes up with two. As he texture peeled out.
What did Texture do?
Really want to flush this cypher out of the sight, and they will do just that. Texture finds a headshot. As he
He's such an idiot, man. That's so stupid. Do you think he meant to do that, or do you think he's being funny? That was like sometimes I do that a little bit, but like that's ludicrous. That's ludicrous.
And just that texture finds the headshot.
That's too much, man. There's not a chance he's not just being funny.
They're having too much fun. Karen comes up with two, looks for the final player.
Texture's very animated. He's definitely not trolling. I mean, he's animated, but like funny animated. So like, I feel like he's being funny. I mean, I saw my friend like go gym. Yeah, I'm gonna okay. Okay. I really appreciate the numbers right now, and I should probably keep farming you guys, but I'll be honest, I kind of just want to go eat and go to the gym, so I'm not gonna force myself to continue watching. I think yeah, I'm a gym lad right now. You wait. When I uncover soon, I'm gonna be looking like I'm gonna beat up Forsaken, basically. I just want to beat up Forsaken. I'm gonna take Forsaken round 1, and then Bosa's getting it next. Raid artists or Shanks? Why would I raid like the most popular streamers in Valorant? Like Sliggy's allowed the raid. Raid Meg. Okay, one sec. You guys give me some people to raid, and I can. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the plan right now is I'm not gonna watch this game because I will watch it tomorrow in VOD review. So we'll VOD review this tomorrow. And then I will be back on hopefully at a good time for this game, right? Banger. This is like a giga banger. This is the best game of the event so far, right? It's fucking giga banger game. And Victoria, APAC Victoria will be here to watch the game and support PaperX. Raid Spicy You, the PaperX content creator. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, Alex's roommate. I usually do raid Egg, but I think raiding. How many has the content creator for PaperX got? 200? I mean, I'll raid Spicy You. I don't really know her at all, but I know she's content creator for PaperX, right? What's her name again? Spicy You. Okay, anyway, be nice to Spicy. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if she plays Valorant or something, but I'll catch you guys in a bit. I'll see you guys later for the PaperX game. Catch you on a bit. I'll be watch partying here, yeah, later. Paper X game.